one their gate is up.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Paranormal Guyz, the first one of 2025. Hope everybody had a great new year. This is season 3 for us here at the Paranormal Guyz, so we're moving right along. We have a great show lined up tonight. I want to send out our thoughts and prayers to everybody in California. I hope that they can stay safe and find shelter. And that includes the Bigfoot. Let's see who I have hidden backstage here. I have Miss Amanda. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you doing tonight?
I got a headache and I'm going to do. And I got Miss Cheyenne.
So glad to see you made it out of jail.
Shh, don't tell anybody. It's Bobby's fault. Speaking of Bobby, so we have a special guest host tonight. B Dizzle. Bobby Dizzle is here.
We're trying to make it.
Don't worry, folks. I have him on a leash. He won't say anything too bad. Our first guest tonight is from down in Florida, where I wish I was because they're not getting snow, and has a great Bigfoot group and lots of information to share with us about the big hairy fella. So let's welcome Marie. Hello there. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Stressed for 2025, but what's new?
Stressed.
We're here.
It's only January 8th. Come on.
Hey, it's Elvis's birthday, by the way. So
That
he'd have
is
been
true.
like 120. I have no idea. He'd have been old.
So his death anniversary was like a week ago.
Who?
Elvis, wasn't it?
No, his birthday's today. I guess he would have been 90 something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually going to try and find an Elvis impersonator to come on and sing like an opening Bigfoot song.
Oh, that's what it was.
I seriously tried. I really did try. So Marie, tell us, you're down in, you said Tampa, is that right?
Yes, I'm in Tampa, Florida, which is on the west coast of Florida. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Down in the Gulf of America. Yes.
Yes, the Gulf of America. The Gulf, yes. The Gulf.
What is the rumor about Tampa that they never get hurricanes?
There's I guess like an Indian, like we're protected by some Indians or something like that. I just think it's just the shape of where we are, the land, the way the bay wraps around. I don't know. We seem to be protected most of the time, even though this past year we were supposed to get a direct hit, and thank goodness we didn't.
Yeah, it went north, didn't it?
It went south. Well, the first one went north.
That's right.
And
Which
the
one got
second
Ross?
one was south around Sarasota. Egmont. Oh no. Siesta Key.
Okay.
Siesta Key is where Milton hit, and that was supposed to be a direct hit for us. So scary time.
I don't miss it.
And speaking of which, I did forget to mention, we are live on Yerg's Radio, yergsradio.com, and rainbowradio.com out of Tampa.
Oh, nice.
KG, hello from 20 degrees in Virginia. Keep it.
It's 21 here. It's not much difference. How cold is it in Atlanta right now?
It is 28 according to my computer.
Well, heat wave, look out. Why are you wearing sleeves?
It's 70 degrees in here. So.
It's 18 here.
Sensei says it is 17. Yeah, no, not a fan. Marie, do you like to go out in this cold weather and look for the big hairy fella?
Depends on how cold it is.
Yeah.
Like I went on a weekend camp out a month ago at Ocala National Forest, which is North Florida. It was 27 degrees. I thought I was going to die.
Ooh.
It was because it's a wet. For us, it's a wet cold,
Yes.
which is even worse. And so, but you know, I don't mind 50s, 60s, 70s, and stuff like that. But cold, not a big fan.
Do you find the researching's better when it's warmer? I've heard people saying there's more movement and activity. Like they move better when it's more comfortable, I guess.
I don't think it really matters. As far as like our research areas, it seems like we get the most activity in the spring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like that when it starts getting warmer.
Mm-hmm. Like January, between January and May seems to be the most active times, at least what we've experienced. So
Active because you're actually out there. We're not going out when it's cold. It's stupid.
yes. And I'm going out this weekend, and it's going to rain Saturday, cold, rainy, great. So it's just going to be another cold.
The good news is those pictures of those cottonmouths won't have to be taken this weekend.
I know.
Because I'd rather get chased by a Bigfoot than see one cottonmouth.
Yes, but you know, it's hard for me to investigate when it's really cold. But I think I'd rather have it really cold than hot 98 degrees, 90% humidity, and mosquitoes, which that will bother you more than anything. It's just like, I can't handle the mosquitoes. I just can't. And they love me, so they're always all over me. And I just want to scream and kill myself. It's horrible in the summertime. So I'd rather it be colder.
You know, Bobby, you were talking about snakes, but a friend of mine sent me a picture of a eastern diamondback rattler on Pensacola Beach. And apparently they go to the Gulf of America during this time of year, and they swim up to 22 miles out to stay warm and then come back in. And I was like, wait a minute. So my winter beach trip, you're telling me I'm going to be swimming, and then I've seen gators in the water too. And I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm just find the swimming pool.
Gators and snakes and everything in Florida is out to kill you.
I'll tell you the craziest thing about Florida in your area is that the monkeys in Silver Springs.
Oh, yeah.
Like that would freak me out if I was just getting into the cryptology for a hobby and I didn't really know there were monkeys there, and all of a sudden a hive of capuchins came flying by. Like,
I have not seen them in person. Of course, I've heard about them, but there's supposed to be some monkeys that were escaped in the Green Swamp, and allegedly they've captured most of them. I don't know if they captured all of them, but whatever. But there's some sounds out there in the Green Swamp that sound like the gibbons monkeys. So I don't know. I bet there's obviously Bigfoots out there too. So that's one of my areas that we like to go to is Green Swamp.
Plenty of places to hide out there.
Oh, it's so dense and gnarly. I mean, my God, there's everywhere is gnarly. It's almost impossible to get through. That's why the hunters use dogs out there, because there's no way you're going to walk through there and, you know, put up a tree stand or something. No, it's just
on a palmetto.
Yeah. Or on a palmetto bush. Palm. So they use dogs. It makes it easier on them to run the dogs.
How many times a year do you go out in research?
Every weekend.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Every weekend for the past 6 years.
So you've got some great skills.
So what initially got you into doing your research?
7 years ago, I was on did a overnight camp out in Ocala National Forest, coldest night of the year, of course. And it was in January. And there was like 15 of us camping out just one night. And about 1:30 in the morning, we heard this loud vocalization. Loud and lengthy, just raw. It was incredible. It took something very large, something with incredible lung capacity to be able to make that kind of vocalization and to hold it for as long as it did. It just did it once. And we all just looked at each other like deer in the headlights. We're like, what the heck was that? That's what got me hooked. That was it. I'm like, oh my God, they do exist.
I gotta know.
You know?
Yep.
I gotta find them now.
I gotta know what's going on here.
Yeah, I gotta see them. So that's what got me hooked, and that was 7 years ago this month. So,
Wow.
Wow.
But yeah, me and my team were very dedicated to Bigfoot and skunk ape research. Every single weekend, somebody is out, me or all of us or a couple of us or whatever. There's always somebody out every weekend for the past 6 years.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. I wish I was able to do that. So.
Yeah.
So in that span of time that you've been doing it, what's been the craziest thing that you've come across?
Oh my God, there's all kinds of crazy stuff. All kinds of define crazy.
Not method.
Define crazy.
I was gonna say the first thought to me is shoot, you'd hear that sound out here, and it's probably just one of the local crackheads. I don't know. Maybe the scariest, like the craziest, like the scariest thing that you've seen or heard.
Nothing's been scary. Just okay. So I'm a Bigfoot researcher. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a woo-woo investigator. But I did start my whole, I don't know, career, whatever you want to call it. I was a paranormal investigator. I've been for 30 years. So it started out with ghosts hunting, and then it went to aliens, UFOs, doing sky watches, and then it evolved into Bigfoot. So when I'm doing Bigfoot research, I'm not intentionally looking for paranormal things, but things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So for people to say, oh no, I've never had any paranormal experiences out there, they're lying, because there's stuff that happens. So you want to hear a funny story, a funny, weird story?
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
I don't know if I ever told Bobby
Let's
this or not. I was in the Green Swamp with my team a few years ago, and you're not going to believe this. So I find a X structure. Okay, so it's like two trees that have been form an X, right? And I'm like, okay. So I'm walking up to the X structure. My phone is in my pocket. And I hear, hello, hello, hello. And I'm like, what is that? And I pull my phone out. An ex-boyfriend called me when I was walking up to the X structure.
You did tell me that. Yeah, that was wild.
That happened twice. 2 different times, 2 different ex-boyfriends, 2 different X structures. And my phone is like password protected. I couldn't dial a number if I even wanted to. And so one of them wasn't even saved in my phone. The other one was. And it's like, I didn't call you. You called me. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. I mean, it was just weird. I'm like, how weird is this that ex-boyfriends call me as I'm walking up to a X structure twice?
That's giving me the chills, man.
So, yeah. So it's wacky.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's like beyond Bigfoot kind of woo. Like that's like
I know.
demonic. Like demonic, like right there on the edge.
No.
It's
No,
not
The fact that you
That's
didn't.
not what this X means.
The fact that you didn't have your phone open and one of them wasn't even in there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It goes. That's bigger than Bigfoot, as I see.
Yes. Yeah. So had weird stuff happen. But my favorite thing was what happened in February, which was we were doing a long weekend camp out at Jennings State Forest outside of Jacksonville, Florida, February 23rd of 2024. And so we got to the campground, and it had just lightly rained when we got there. And Ruby and I were car camping in our campsite. So my car was parked on the right-hand side. Hers was parked on the left-hand side. There was like 15 feet between our cars. And then Mike and Chris were at the next campsite, and they were in tents. And Mike had his son with him. So in these state forests here in Florida, the parks and stuff, you're not allowed to leave your campsite out when it gets dark, like after sunset. Even though you're camping in the park, you're not allowed to be in the park. You're not allowed to leave your campsite, which is really weird. So
very odd.
Yeah, very odd. And so we had some volunteers, security people that, stopped and talked to us. They liked us, and they're like, hey, we'll take you out. And we're like, yeah. So we all got in our trucks, and they took us to this one area. It was near the power lines. And they dropped us off, and everybody's just standing around talking. Well, there's an intersection. There's like a forest road, which is just a dirt road where the, forest trucks drive through. So it's sugar sand. It's kind of churned up. So I look to the right because it's dark, and I got my little flashlight. Everybody's just standing around talking. I look to the right. Looks boring. It looks too bright and too open. I look to the left. It was dark, creepy looking, canopy trees. It looked super creepy. That's where I want to go. So I start walking that way, and I have my little flashlight, and I'm looking down the road as I'm walking, and I see what looks like a footprint, and I'm like, where's the other one? Oh, there's one over there. Where's the next one? Oh, there's one over there. Well, so I called the rest of the team over, and I'm like, hey guys, look at this. What do you think? And they're like, oh, these are footprints. And I'm like, yeah. So we took some pictures, stuff like that. We put 2 sticks down to mark them so we could find them in the morning, right? We didn't know what we had, except we did measure. And they were 16-inch footprints with a 54-inch stride between each step. And it went for a quarter of a mile.
Wow.
We got as far as the creek. That's where it seemed to end, but most likely it probably jumped over the creek or swam across the creek or whatever. So anyway, so we go back to our campsites. We're going to bed. I get in my car. Ruby gets in her car. Everybody's in their tents. I can never sleep on the first night when I'm out on an investigation. So I'm just laying in the back of my car, just trying to sleep, but it's not going to happen. I have window shades up and everything. And probably around 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, I start hearing boom, boom, boom. Something walking back and forth alongside the driver's side of my car. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, what is that? Is that Ruby? I'm thinking it's Ruby because she's in the car next to me, right? And I'm like, why is she walking so heavy? I'm just trying to logically make heads or tails of this. And it just went back and forth, back and forth. I'm just listening to this. There's no way I could look out because it was pitch black and I had shades on and stuff like that. And then it pushed my car. It pushed the back of my car where my feet were. And the hatch, it just pushed my car. And I was like, whoa, okay, what the heck was that? you know. And so when daylight came, I got in my car. I looked around. No, the ground was really hard, so there was no footprints or anything. So I went down to Chris and Mike's campsite because I wanted to tell them what happened and eat some breakfast, right? So I go down there, and Mike comes out of his tent. He's like, "Oh my God, we didn't sleep at all last night. And we heard something big and bipedal, heavy walking around our tent." And I'm like, "Oh my God." So they experienced something walking around their tents, just like I had around my car, except they pushed my car. So did it push my car because it saw me out there? It saw that I found the prints and it followed us back to the camp? Don't know. Don't know what, but
Did you see any marks on the hatch of your car or anything?
No, I checked. I checked for fingerprints, greasy marks, but my car was like brand new. I only had it 3 weeks when I went on this camping trip, and so it was very clean. So there was no seeing, greasy hand marks or, fingerprints on the glass, nothing like that. I looked.
Makes you wonder how they pushed it.
Yeah, whether he just used his hip or if he just, he just may have, I don't know. He may have just bumped into it, pushed it with his hip, his leg, whatever, his arm.
Yeah, it's theoretically strong as it would be. I guess they could probably do it with anything.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't even see it. Unless he was like filthy. I mean,
right.
Otherwise it wouldn't show up.
Exactly.
Or just that hairy where they're baby print.
Yeah, I was
hoping, like the Grinch.
Because usually they leave like a greasy, oily residue.
Yeah.
Usually. And but like I said, my car was really new, so it was very slick. The surface was slick, so
What kind of car was it? That's
Subaru.
Somehow not important. Crosstrek, okay.
See, there you go, Bobby. Don't pick.
I've been looking at it. I'm just asking, just to get an idea of where it had.
I love the Crosstrek. Subaru's are great cars.
Did it have a roof rack on
lower.
Did it have like a crossbar on the top?
Mine doesn't. Mine's the base model does not come with
I was thinking, like, what if it reached up and jarred the top and you didn't check there?
No, mine doesn't have that feature. Nope. And
Crosstrek is lower down than I was thinking too.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was tall enough; it still could have reached the top.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Yeah.
A lot of times they cross, so it could have been.
I hate that middle
down
picture.
low.
It could have been like a leg.
One of the ways they calculate the estimated height of like a Bigfoot is you take the length of the foot and divide it by 2. So it was a 16-inch print, so that would have made it 8 feet tall. So that's usually how and you could do that with your own foot. I think my foot measures around 11 inches and I'm 5'4", so that's pretty close. It's a pretty good estimate, So, so it's interesting, but, and then we went back in the morning and, then we could really see the prints. Like I said, it's in sugar sand, which is like beach sand. So it's not a good, clear print, but you can make out it had a very large toe, big toe. And like I said, it went for like 1/4 of a mile. So I decided, we did everything. Took pictures, videos, 3D scans. We did everything, casted the print, 2 of the prints. We did everything that we could possibly do. And then I decided to report it to the BFRO.
No.
And so the BFRO sent out an investigator to go check out my story. And everything was legit. Everything was exactly how I said it was. So he deemed it as a legitimate experience, that it really did happen. And then he turned it over to Matt Moneymaker. He's the head guy of the BFRO. And he knows more about Jennings State Forest than I do. And we didn't know anything about the place. We were just going camping and going, to do some Bigfoot research. I didn't know that anything about previous encounters there. So Matt Moneymaker said that he shared it on Facebook, saying what a great experience this was, what a great, job we did. But what he said about the place is that's what it's famous for, is that there's a Bigfoot that likes to hang around the campsites, the campground. And I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what happened,
Mm-hmm.
So, and then that whole finding the trackway of prints, it made the March 2024, it was the feature cover story on the Bigfoot Times newsletter, which is a huge thing. So I was honored to be on the cover of that newsletter for that discovery.
That's Perez's location, isn't it?
Yes, Daniel
Yeah.
Perez. Mm-hmm.
Bigfooter of the year, Marie Dumont.
Yeah, so you can see. Yeah,
I saw that back there.
Yeah, the yellow
Mm-hmm.
newsletter on the frame back there. That's the newsletter. So,
Talking to a celebrity.
oh yeah.
What'd you say the strides were?
Celebrity.
What
Huh?
were the stride length?
54 inches.
Yeah, it's a big fella.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
like a whole me.
Human strides are typically 2.5 feet. That's
Yeah,
it.
a band step is
Human
22
step.
inches.
Mm-hmm. So you think it's this big length, but it's
Mhm.
not. And so for it to be 54 inches between each print, that's big.
It's like stepping your body height each time.
Yeah, that's big.
Mhm.
Big. So that was the best experience that we've had. So,
It's a great one.
mhm.
You said
Actually,
they're normally more active like between January and May. And my first thought was, I wonder if that's their mating season.
Well, it just
Like,
may be because the weather's better.
Yeah.
It could be just as simple as that, right?
Yeah.
It's better, even though it's hunting season, so they have to be more careful out where they're going.
Yeah.
But the weather's better, so they probably feel better, a little more feisty. Like a cat, even
Yeah.
animals. Animals get more peppy and excited when it's cooler. It feels
Right.
good. They feel better. They have more energy. So maybe that's the case with Bigfoots.
Yeah.
With between
If it's just
January
elderly New York Bigfoots that moved down there.
Right.
Bigfoots mess it all up.
Bad drivers.
Traffic. I know.
They'll migrate south for that point because it's a little
Yeah.
bit nicer
Spring
between
break.
January and May.
Yeah, whatever. Spring break.
Big-
they mess it all
Bigfoot
up.
spring break.
That would be hilarious.
Go to the beach, hang out.
I'm just
They went
picturing
out
it.
there with their glass with their little umbrella
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah,
Their
never
big
know.
sun hat. Just
Yeah.
I mean, really, because a lot of people they do believe that they migrate, and they probably do migrate if they're up north. But down here, there's no reason to migrate. They have a year-round supply of food,
Mhm.
and it never gets typically too cold that they're miserable. They can it's just easy for them to. They don't have to go anywhere if they don't want to. They have everything they need year round. So,
Till it gets so hot.
yeah. Now, I think that when it gets really hot, like summertime, I think they spend a lot of water in the swamp. I've spent a lot of time in the swamp sitting in the water,
Mhm.
Yeah.
to get away from the bugs, probably. And just because it's hot. So they just probably try to cool off as much as they can. And they probably sit in,
Mhm.
springs or little ponds or some that are really hidden.
Yeah.
A cave, probably some caves, stuff like that.
Did you ever see the movie with I can't think of his name, but it's called The Great Divide? It's the Robert Powell story.
No. Mm-mm.
They were talking about they hiding in the lava tubes. That was Pacific Northwest where there's volcanoes.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, but that's the thing that really happened. That movie's based on a true story.
I mean, God, in the Pacific Northwest, we
Mhm.
went out there. We were speakers at the Medellin Falls Bigfoot Festival last June. We were invited, me and my team. So, God, when you go to the Pacific Northwest, it's a whole nother world. It's just like everywhere looks like it has Sasquatch.
Mhm.
And everybody we talk to, and I mean everyone. Oh, yeah, I've seen 3. Oh, yeah, I saw one yesterday. Oh, my mom saw one 2 days ago. Oh, my father's seen 12. I mean, it's just insane. It's like, you know, in Florida,
Right. Yeah,
it seems
that's
to
the
be
way it
very
is.
taboo. Nobody talks about
Yeah.
Bigfoot typically. It's like, shh, you know, oh, they're going to think I'm a weirdo or a freak. Pacific Northwest, Washington, they talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
We had signs, you know, Mid-Florida Bigfoot Research, magnetic signs on the side of the vehicle that we were using while we were there. People were walking up to us and telling us how many Sasquatches they've seen or experiences they've had. Every single person. It was the craziest thing I've ever experienced. It's like, wow, why can't Florida be that fun? You know? But it's also like just mountains and forests everywhere you look, and you're like, where do I even start? Where do I even start looking for big, you know, Sasquatch out there?
That's the thing that blows your mind. You compare the size of some of our states to that entire region. It's like bigger than the South.
It was just gorgeous, and it was just incredible. But guess what? We found prints.
Awesome.
We were there for a week, and we found we found multiple prints by a stream that was drying up, and then we found one on the side of a slope on the side of the road, and so found some strange structures out there. We were there a week, and we found stuff. In September, I was in Utah. I went to the Phenomenon. I don't know if you've ever heard that conference. It's the greatest conference there is. It's a 4-day conference. And it's everything ghosts, aliens, and Bigfoot. And whenever I go to that conference, the next day I always go to Ocala National Forest in Utah. Lots of Sasquatch sightings there. I've been there twice. Both times I have found teepee structures. I found a print this time. And it's just crazy, the stuff that you find when you really start looking.
What do you carry with you on like a almost like a boondoggle kind of trip like that, where you don't have your entire research kit with you? What's the must-haves in your sack?
God, like you said, we're not going to
Must-haves in your sack.
The must-haves in my sack.
In your satchel, your pack.
Not a personal Bobby.
The only thing I brought up was like a tape measure, but my thermal camera. That's my go-to piece of equipment that I love to use.
I'm just wondering if you can fly with plaster.
Yeah, right. Who wants to carry freaking plaster?
Hang on a second, I'm making
why they've got a Bigfoot track when you're coming back.
So we did 3D scans of them, so at least we have, you know, some kind of, you know, evidence of what we found. But yeah, we're not going to, there's no way you're going to find a Walmart to get boxes of plaster out there. There's no way. And so, but I have my thermal camera. So
that's the go-to, and they can't escape it.
Yeah. Yep. That was the whole idea. So
yeah, that's the tool I love most.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first started,
That's like the one thing I need.
It's my favorite. Absolutely my favorite. If you have night vision, so we haven't. I've met this guy lately. He wants to be a researcher, and but he's never had anybody to go out with, and so he has so much high-end research equipment. It's unbelievable. It's like,
Wow.
my God, where have you been all my life? I mean, he has military grade night vision goggles.
Nice.
That's
Oh
just
my
one
God.
thing. He has power zoom binoculars that can also be used, also have night vision capabilities. He's got
Oh
a
my
crazy
goodness.
sound thing. Oh my God. He probably has $10,000 worth of equipment, stuff that we would never be able to afford. He has
I
it.
think I have binoculars, but it's a canteen. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a flask.
His are heavy duty, kind of put on a tripod, like on Expedition Bigfoot, where Russell Accord is sitting there looking through his binoculars on the tripod. That's what he has. I mean,
Nice.
it's just crazy the equipment that
wow.
he has.
Why did he just have it? Was
Never
he
left
like
his house.
an aspiring researcher and just was hoping to team up with someone?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly right. He wanted to do research, Bigfoot research. So he bought all his equipment, but he had nobody to go out with.
He got all this
We
stuff.
never used it. And I'm like, I'm your person. You're not. We're
Does
your
he live close to you?
welcome to
Yeah.
the team.
So he lives down there in your area?
Mhm.
Nice.
He lives around Ocala. And lives around Ocala. So yeah, it's
Nice.
really nice to. So we're going camping this weekend. He's lugging all his equipment, so we're gonna play with it all.
Look like Jurassic Park 2 with all that stuff.
I know he has a call blaster. I mean, everything. you
Good
can
God.
think he's got.
Wow.
Mm.
He's not some kind of like secret. What am I
I
trying
know.
to say? Like a
That's
like
what
a
I- that's
like
what
an
I
evil
told him. I said,
like
"Are
an
you
evil
a
billionaire,
spy? Are you a spy? Are you a sniper?"
like some evil billionaire sent by the government to like kill one for science or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you have $1 billion worth of stuff, Elon? Little Bruce Wayne in the Ocala Forest. What is this?
Yeah. So it's going to be fun this weekend, messing with all that equipment.
Yeah.
So,
Especially those night
I'm-
goggles. I remember I worked on the range and we had those like you're talking about, and for the military, put them on. It's like daylight, but at night.
oh, it's
What in the world are we doing?
It looks like freaking daylight, and the stars, billions and billions and billions of stars. You could see it. It would be great to do a sky watch and just wear those suckers and just see what you see. You know,
You're gonna get out there and everything's gonna be happy go lucky. Kumbaya is gonna be on the guitar. All of a sudden, Homeboy's gonna unsnap a case and start screwing a scope to a sniper rifle. Like, what the hell are you doing?
No, you put that back. You put that back.
He's like talking to his giant 50 cal shells. This is free. Like, why is there a foot on that casing?
it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But hey, it's going to be a fun time.
I bet. I kind of want to see a report of that.
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping, and I plan on doing some experiments. So I want to see if something reacts to my experiments or not.
I want to see how excited he is to get out there and you finally use this equipment.
I know. I mean, he's like unwrapping stuff. I'm like, have you never used this? He's like, no, never have. I'm like, oh my God.
And you're gonna get out there, and he's gonna have to be cutting the seals off boxes
Yes.
he's never opened.
Tearing the plastic off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know
It's
how
like
long
when a
this
new-
has been sitting in the back cupboard?
Like when a
Got
new
a
guy
tag
joins a
on
hunting
that.
club,
Yes.
he always has all kinds of new stuff. The tag's still on it. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Four wheeler's never even started.
He's like, oh yeah, I forgot I got this. Oh yeah, I forgot I got one of these too. I'm like, oh my gosh. He's just pulling out everything you could think of. My God.
I'm getting ready to just camp on my farm to see what I can find.
Heck yes. Heck yes. You know,
I just
We're
picture
right on
you
the
with your
Kentucky
with your
River.
little
Yeah.
goggles, and then you just turn the
Get my sip of wine.
What is the mineral layout of that part of Florida? Are there quartz and limestone around? Well, you said there was caves.
limestone.
Limestone?
Mhm.
That would make the quartz then.
Yeah, you got limestone. There's aquifers underneath, and of course, which causes sinkholes when they
Mhm.
collapse.
Yeah.
In the
But
neighborhoods.
there are some caves around. They're north of Tampa. There's certain areas, I think like Brooksville area. There's some caves where some of them are sinkholes that have filled up with water. They're like springs now. And divers will go dive in those caves and stuff like that. But there are some caves that are above ground. So those are very well, and they'd be very cool in the summertime, right? They'd be much cooler than anywhere else. So sure, makes sense for a great place for Bigfoot to take shelter.
And they stay about like 65 in the winter, so it's kind of best of both worlds.
Correct.
I just always wondered about the you kind of around here where we live, where the mountains are. We know what the situation is. On Florida, I just picture a sand and FUD puckers. Like, where did the Bigfoot hide? So, but I guess the inland Florida is like Ocala is like a straight up national forest. So
well, Florida is like over half the state is actually forests, and people don't realize that at all.
Not a lot going on inside interior.
And then you have the Florida Wildlife Corridor. And that is because of all the development going on in Florida. The state of Florida is trying to save some of the land for the wildlife, right? So they buy these parcels of land that are connected to one another. So it starts South Florida, like the Everglades. And then one part of it goes on the East Coast, and one part goes on the West Coast. So animals can travel up and down those corridors, the land that the state purchases, so they can get to where they need to go to maybe do a little migration to get to food sources, that they want or need, instead of, walking on the interstate. So that's the whole intent of that. But when you look at the Bigfoot reports, a lot of those Bigfoot reports are on the corridor. So
I would check out,
yeah, which makes sense, right? So
Glenn died on us.
No, I'm getting messages over here.
Fall asleep over there.
He was. I heard his little message ding, and he's like, "Huh? What?"
Yeah, I've got messages there.
Do you have the pythons up where you are? Sorry.
The pythons where we are? Not yet, but they're starting to migrate north. That's because there's so many of them, and between those and the panthers, they're eating up everything in the Everglades. Everything, which is really sad. Because the Everglades used to be teeming with deer and hogs and all kinds of stuff. Now, the only thing you ever see there are birds. That's it. Everything's been.
I read a report that the boas were going to be within the next few years as far as the Smoky Mountains.
They've already been spotted North Florida.
Yeah, you can keep them. But there'll never be a panther leave Georgia or leave Florida. They don't. That state line, they stop right there. They
don't exist.
They absolutely don't cross the line, huh?
And damn you for mentioning it.
Oh yeah. Ask any DNR agent. I've asked them in Georgia and Tennessee. Oh, there's no cats in these states. Like, hey, you're kitty's ass.
That's bull crap.
Yep.
That's bull crap.
Yeah.
Our preacher at church says that cats were brought to us by the devil.
Well, they're like one of the. I mean, I've had cats all my life, right? And cats will kill just for the sport of it.
Yeah.
Just to see what it looks like.
They'll just go out and catch a mouse and bring it in the house. They won't eat it. They'll just kill it.
Just play with it.
And play with it. Like you said, play with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or they just leave it. It's like, why? Why did you have to kill that lizard? Or why did you have to kill that, mouse or whatever? They just have to do that. That's their nature. So panthers are the same way. That they will kill just for the sport of it.
Well, with the panthers, the mountain lions, all those different ones. You get on their bad side, and they're
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they will parallel you and hunt you. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's
Bob.
a story about in the Everglades. This stupid young couple were walking down a swamp buggy trail that you're not supposed to walk on, but they were walking their little dog, and they're just walking, and one of the swamp buggy guys, operators, saw what was behind them, and he starts beeping his horn, and he's like yelling at them. There was a panther stalking them because they wanted the dog, and they didn't even know it. Here they're just walking their little dog, not knowing there's a Florida panther stalking them behind them. And so the swamp buggy operator was able to stop the panther from attacking their dog, taking their dog.
Man, that would have been traumatic for all parties involved.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging onto a leash. It's like having a big fish on the line at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah, it's like poop. It's like poop, gone.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's scary, very scary. Like I said, everything in Florida is out to kill you. So,
Mhm.
We
like
got more
Australia.
wildlife than most, so
yeah, we got gators, of course, and
yeah. Yeah.
crocodiles, poisonous snakes, poisonous spiders, you name it.
Yeah. Angie says that there was a wild cougar killed at West Point Lake in Georgia about 15 years ago. Man shot it right before it attacked him. That
Wow.
doesn't surprise me.
Wow.
You know, I've heard stories from other people in Georgia. I don't know if you knew Bob Grumpy. He had one parallel him on a mountain. He was out with some people, and yeah, yeah. I was like, no, thank you. He said that you don't know they're there until almost like the last second.
Yeah.
So he just got lucky, I guess. But yeah,
That story I was saying of when I was in Utah, I found that print.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Utah researcher that I was with, he went ahead of me. I stopped because I saw the print, and I'm taking pictures and stuff, and he continued walking on the other side of the road into the trees. All of a sudden, he yells, "Mountain lion!" A mountain lion jumped out of the tree in front of him and took off running. That would have been me if I didn't find that print. I would have walked that direction, and I would have had the mountain lion jump in front of me or jump on me. So that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
I saw there was a news reporter, and I'm not sure if it was from this wildfire or not, but she was doing a live with the fire in the background.
Yes,
Mhm.
I just saw that. Yes.
And a dog walks by her, but it's plainly a mountain lion.
It was
tail was
past her
massive.
leg, right past her leg, like a cat
Yeah.
leg.
And she never broke whatever. She
Nope.
just kept it going. She was, oh, cute little dog, whatever. And I'm like,
Little dog, yeah, it was a freaking mountain lion. And I mean, it like rubbed on her leg practically. That's how close
oh yeah,
it was.
yeah.
It's
Some of
just
the
a whole new.
comments.
Can I pet that dog?
Yeah.
Can I pet that dog?
You know, if the cat
That's
walks
gonna be
by
me
you,
with
they're just going to
Sasquatch.
kind of like rub against you as they walk by. That's what this mountain lion looked like it was doing. And she had no clue.
Somebody said her calmness is what
Raise
saved
her
her
like
life.
a house cat. So
She's just treating it like a T-Rex. If I move and I don't acknowledge it, it won't notice that I'm there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's stupidity or bravery, but yeah. Well, yeah. And speaking with these
Say a mix
fires,
of both.
yeah, with these fires, I've talked to some forest firefighters that have seen prints in the ash after the fire that were huge, and they're like, I don't know what made this, but it was obviously here with us trying to go the other way. And I was like, yeah. So,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, like with the hurricane Milton is coming, there were a lot of sightings of Bigfoots in Brooksville, Florida. Brooksville, Florida is very hilly. It's one of the highest points in Florida. So they sensed the storm coming, and they had to move to higher ground because they probably, knew it was a bad storm. There was going to be a lot of rain, a lot of water, and a lot of flooding, and lots of sightings in that area, like a day or two before the storm.
Wow.
That's amazing that they can sense stuff like that.
Mhm.
What do you think about their vision with their red eyes? Have you ever heard or seen that?
I've never seen it before.
Some people I know talk about that they could be using it almost like to communicate, like the ships do at night with the light with blinking. I don't know that they're saying. I don't know anything, but
I've never seen that. I know people who have, but so I can't say what I think it is. It also depends on what kind of light you're shining on them, So are they really red, or are they shining do they have, I don't know. There's a lot of things to consider.
I believe they probably see it a different spectrum than us too.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why we don't have them on any cameras, because they see that like a floodlight.
100%. You got it.
Marie, you were the one telling me don't use game cameras.
Yeah.
No,
It's not worth it.
use a game camera. No, it's a waste of money.
Even though
Especially
I do. I have one in my active research area. And really, initially I had two of them. And I had one on each corner of the property that is our active research area. Because, hopefully, okay, if I got it on both ends, I'm definitely going to get it, right? No. Everything stopped. All the activity stopped when I did that. But there was only one activity, and that was in between where the two cameras were. Something destroyed the chain link fence that was there. Something took the galvanized steel poles, twisted them, and bent them down in half. That's the part that had the barbed wire on it. So something intentionally moved the barbed wire down and out of the way so it could get over the fence. It pressed down the fence like something sat on it or something. Now there's a 3-foot trail, 3-foot wide trail. Now where that fence is. And that was exactly in between where my trail cams were.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any connection with them and ET or extraterrestrial? What
people say that, but I've never experienced that. I personally don't think so, but if I'd have to see it. I would definitely have to.
Well, I mean, they do. There's a lot of similarities with the draining of the batteries and strange lights and electricity and stuff like that. So there's a lot of similarities, but
similar.
A little big man and a little gray guy together. I'm probably.
Well, just think about paranormal. You're talking about ghosts, aliens, UFOs, and Bigfoot. They all have similar. You see orbs in all three of those.
Mm-hmm.
You get EVPs. There's just too many similarities. They all have the same kind of weird stuff going on. So I don't know what that means, but personally, I think that Bigfoots probably have some kind of special abilities that we would consider to be supernatural.
Yeah.
Paranormal. Maybe they can cloak, right?
Maybe.
I mean, look at chameleons.
Mm-hmm.
Look what chameleons can do. They can change, depending on what they're standing on, they can change their skin color to blend in perfectly.
And
So
octopus.
why can't Bigfoot's cloak? Sure.
Octopus can do it crazy. They turn into anything. Like a transformer.
Yeah. So who says, Bigfoot's may be able to do that?
Now where are you with the it's a lost ape to it's something else more human like, or maybe like a deviation of human evolution?
Mm-hmm.
Are you on the ape side or the lost person?
I'm like the wild man kind of. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. But okay, I think the skunk ape is more primate. And I think Bigfoots are more wild, the wild man kind of thing. And the reason why I say that is because the reports are very different, extremely different from one another. And so typically, like Tampa is center of the state, right? That's about the midpoint. So south of Tampa, so that would be Mayaca, hotspot, all the way down the Everglades. Typical reports are of a creature that's 5 to 7 feet tall, very thin, less hair, very lanky, long, thin, reddish brown in color, and it has 4 toes instead of 5 toes. And the reports that we get, Tampa and North Florida, are the typical Bigfoots, which are 6 to 9 feet tall. They're big, usually reddish brown or black, also in color. And they have 5 toes instead of 4 toes. Very, very, very different. Now, when we go research down south for skunk apes, you don't find the tree structures and stuff that Bigfoots typically make, like what you would even find in our area or in Ocala. You don't find that kind of stuff down south at all. So there's a big difference. And I think it's because, one area has skunk apes and the other area is Bigfoots.
Is the behavior reported different between the two?
Yeah. The skunk apes, I think, are more aggressive. They're all opportunists, of course. Now, when you're talking about the Everglades, in the summertime, it's underwater, right? The Everglades is just a river of water. It's 1.5 to 2 feet deep everywhere. So where would a skunk ape sleep at night? Well, they're going to sleep either on, if they can find dry land somewhere, or they're going to sleep in a tree. They're going to climb and sleep in a tree somewhere. Now, I found about 3 years ago in the Everglades, I found what looked like a nest. It looked like a hammock was made out of thousands of vines. Thousands
Really?
of vines. It's about 10 feet long and about 8 feet wide. It was probably about 10 feet off the ground, out of the water, just close to a trail, a dry trail. So could very well easily hold a skunk ape. I mean, one vine, if you're walking and you get your boot caught in one vine, it'll take you down. It will not break. So if you have thousands of vines clumped together, it looks like a giant hammock.
That's what's kind of, so they weave together or just kind of strung out? Or
yeah, they're just wadded together, but it's strung out. It's all strung out. About
something with intent did it. Gotcha. Okay.
Yes. So it could be a place easily that a panther could climb up and sleep in. It could very well be a place that a skunk ape does.
But panthers don't have posable thumbs.
Nope. But they can climb up in there and sleep in there.
It just really speaks a lot to like the evolution of the Florida things that about the pterodactyl cats and the deer are noticeably smaller. Up to you get to like Gainesville and Tallahassee, and then turn back into Georgia and Alabama deer.
Yeah,
crazy how that works.
There's a rule called Bergman's rule, which says that anything as you get closer to the equator, the smaller the creatures are. So it makes perfect sense, right? What did I just say? The skunk apes are smaller because they're further south. They're closer to the equator. It's hotter. It's more humid. There's no way a typical Bigfoot, gigantic, bulky, muscular, hairy creature is going to survive down there. So the evolution has,
Changed.
has changed.
How far up do skunk ape the reports go? I've looked into them, but I never looked at the regions. Is it
Well,
just south of Tampa?
Everglades, obviously, Mayaca State Park, which is around Sarasota. There's the St. Johns River, which is on the east coast of Florida, which is a little higher around Titusville. There's reports there. And what's super interesting about that is that if you ever go there, first time I ever went there, I'm like, holy crap, this looks like the Everglades. It looks exactly like the Everglades, but it's on the east coast of Florida, up further north. But I know somebody who's had a skunk ape sighting there. So
yeah, that's interesting. I've never heard that before.
Yeah. So
Have you
it's
been in,
typically south of Tampa, typically, except for
it says their territory is the wilderness between the Everglades and the Panhandle. So all over.
No.
I was going to ask, have you ever been up in, I think it's called Blackwater Forest or Black
No,
Water?
I have not been there.
That's one area I want to go because I have family that lives in Escambia. And I've heard stories, but
yes,
there
are stories from there.
Cool.
Definitely.
Marie, I've promised I'd only keep you an hour, so I don't want to break you because I want you to come back. And you're going to have a great, exciting weekend this weekend, so you might have something.
I was going to say, we need to have her back to hear about that.
I
after
know,
all the equipment and everything.
I just want to see. I just want you to post pictures of the gear.
I was going to say she'll have video, she'll have stills, she'll have thermals, she'll have
sound clips.
She'll have a drone of it from overhead, so
a body in a net.
So yeah,
great.
I would definitely like you to come back.
I'd love to come back.
And tell everybody if they're interested in contacting you, where they can find you, and if you got anything you want to pimp, if you got a...
Okay. So I have I think it's pretty popular group on Facebook. It's the Mid-Florida Bigfoot Research Group. And then I have a YouTube channel that's the same name. And we're on Instagram, Mid-Florida Bigfoot. And I also have a website, which is, you can find midfloridabigfoot.com. And there you can find a bunch of research gallery photos, tons of photos of the really cool stuff that some of it I just told you about, like the bent fence post. You can see that there. There's a whole bunch of pictures you can take a look at. There's facts about Florida. I do blogs. All of our press and media podcast links and stuff I put there. So I'm going to put your show on there also.
Awesome. Thank you.
And I've already done that for Bobby back in the day.
Yep.
And so
you can delete it. We don't like him. So.
And I also just joined the Channel 12 TV network. So I'm going to start my own show.
Nice.
Starting next Tuesday. And it is called the Bigfoot Research Show. And what I'm going to be doing is I want to interview field researchers all across the country. I want to know what equipment they use, what works for them, what doesn't work for them, what they've had success with, why they like this and not that. I want to know about their experiments. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to interview field researchers all around the United States. Because I want to learn. I want to learn what works, what doesn't, and try new things. Get some new ideas.
And we need to get you up here in Georgia or Alabama too sometime with us.
Is that conference for your organization, the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference?
Yes. That's the people who put on the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference.
Okay. So they just booked a big name.
Yeah, they do the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference. Oh, it's a big conference. It's a very big conference. Like Dr. Maria Mayer's coming back this year. She was there in 2022 when I was speaking. So this is her second time coming back. And And who else did they just announce? So it was Maria, RPG. I can't remember who. Charlie Raymond from Kentucky.
Okay.
He's coming down to
Mhm.
be a speaker. So we have a booth there on Researchers Row where I have all our casts and photographs and stuff. And it's we were slam busy last year. Slammed.
I bet.
We had more people than anybody else. Everybody was lined up just wanting to talk and look at our stuff. So it's a great time. It's just very tiring, but it's a wonderful time and a great opportunity to meet people. So
Mm-hmm.
There are some really cool people out there in this. So,
yes.
all right, Marie. Well, I'm going to let you get out of here because our next guest, Corissa, is here. You have a great night.
Oh,
Have
thank
an
you.
even better weekend out in the field. And if you get something, just message me just to let me
Okay.
know.
Yeah, I will.
Getting like a little schoolgirl. So
I'll send pictures. Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to want to
Just
know.
see him kicking his feet. Just
Yeah. Well, trust me, I'll be inside because it's snowing. So
Yeah.
And you can't go anywhere because the
Yeah.
roads are shut.
Well, thank you for having me on your show.
It's good to see you again.
Yes,
It
good to
was
see
our
you.
pleasure.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you guys. All right.
Nice to meet you.
Yep.
Peace.
Talk to you
Bye-bye.
soon.
Bye.
She's
Said
awesome.
Bye.
Yeah, we're gonna have her back.
She's
So.
great.
Bye now, y'all.
Yeah, she's really fun. It was always fun talking.
She's so knowledgeable. So, well, our next guest is Corissa, and she was another one, Bobby, that you sent my way.
Mhm.
So, we kind of have you to thank for this show. I don't, man, I hate to, that's like going to the dentist. I hate saying those words. So,
We'll get used to it. Settle in.
Corissa, let's bring her out. Corissa, how are you?
Don't thank him yet. You haven't talked to me. So
You're gonna get tired of seeing me, Corissa.
Well, you know, Chris, it could also be said he's stalking you. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
just throwing that out there.
it's getting awkward. Is what it's getting.
It's funny because I was listening and she was talking about the Bigfoot conference, and I'm actually going to the one in Gatlinburg.
Oh, nice.
So I got a table there, and for some reason, my brain was not working on the site or whatever. I could not get a table. Like I had to actually contact someone to be like, I can't figure out how your tables work. So fortunately I got it because I had been like waiting for it to open up. So, but yeah, I'm doing a few cryptid next year. I'm doing Lexington Cryptid Con and Wild Man in Tennessee. And then I'm doing the Gatlinburg ones. I do more, but you have to bring either your own table or it's outside, and I just not ready to do those yet. I bought a table and returned it. I have no upper body strength whatsoever, so that didn't work out. So
Yeah, and those things are not durable. The ones you get at Walmart and Lowe's. Mine
It
looks like it was in like some kind of TikTok meme. Like somebody jumped on it.
First of all, being outside sucks, and especially with a comic book. It's either going to be too windy, and even if you have to set up the tent and all that stuff. The only one I might get myself to do is the Mothman one in West Virginia, because I mean it's Mothman in West Virginia, so you really kind of have to. But other than that, I probably won't be doing any outside ones. But
I think I'm going to that one this coming year.
are you?
Yeah,
I will warn you, that one is very hot.
Yeah.
September
Very hot.
Is it September?
21st.
I might try to go. It's not
At least
that far for me.
The couple times that we went, it was very hot.
Yeah.
But it's
I imagine
very
so.
fun.
I just prefer outside. And then there are some that are, I just prefer inside. There are some that are inside, and then you have to bring your own table. So I was like, well, I can't win there. So, but yeah, we'll see. This will be my first year doing any kind of cryptid. Generally, I had written horror before. And I've always loved cryptids, but I never really wrote about them, So, then I got this crazy idea to do this whole line of cryptids. Actually, I've decided to, yesterday, my mind works like I want to do this and now I'm going to do it right now. they do a monthly cryptid box. So every month they get like a little box of cryptids of the month thing. So one of them is plushies, but not this guy, because
Yes.
this guy is like Elf. Like he's like, you
Jeez.
know, yeah,
Oh,
he's
huge.
like 3 foot, yeah. So, but I have a bunch of, I like the obscure ones, but like I think he's too cute to be Skunk, but I have Skunk here, so.
Aw.
The squawk.
I love him.
Skunk, yeah, I love him too, and he sits on his little butt. And he actually, it wasn't on purpose, but he became a main character in the story, like starting like issue 5, because in the comic book, she's required to get all these ingredients from different cryptids, and she's not allowed to kill them. So she has to get certain things, and one was his tears. But because my character's part angel, she told him he wasn't ugly, and he stopped crying, and it kind of ruined everything. So she was too nice to him, and he followed her around, and I was just like, I'm just gonna keep him in the story, and he just like follows her around. So, but he wails like whenever
is
she's in
adorable.
trouble or she gets hurt, he just wails. And the guy in the story, the main guy, always wants to shoot poor Skunk, but you know.
Oh,
No.
Bobby.
Yeah.
We
I'm
can
considered.
smoke
I'm called merch queen. Like I love
Oh, shoot the
Yeah.
squawk.
plushies and
Oh,
3D statues, and
was that a Wendigo?
it is. And I've had somebody argue with me that they're not supposed to have antlers. I know, I do my research, but not only is this the fictional version, it less offends people. So, plus, I mean, the antlers are cool. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
I don't, this sounds awful. I don't like, not that I don't like them, but in my story, I don't like the humanoid cryptids. I like the cool animal ones, you know?
Mhm.
So, I mean, who wants humans around? So,
Kind of
but
squawk,
Ew.
to be honest.
Ew.
yeah, so I have, I think I've had, the story has so far like 30 cryptids in it. 20 of them need the ingredients that you can collect, but I'm going all over the place because I'm ADHD. But yeah, I just
Join the club.
but I like the
Well,
obscure ones. Like, who knew what Skunk? I didn't even know what Skunk was before I was doing research on this. And then my co-writer's like, we have to do Skunk. I was like, what the hell is a Skunk? She's like, it just sits there and cries. It's like, I'm in. Like, I'm just like,
well,
Yeah, I learned about Squonk through podcast I listened to from formerly Rooster Teeth Red Web, and that was my first learning about Squonk, and I was like, he just wants to be loved.
right?
all he
That's why
wants.
it's so funny, because when we wrote it, it wasn't, we don't really plan the story out ahead. I kind of just sit down and write. That's how I wrote 125 issues of our horror, and then we just started the Western like 3 months ago, and we're on like issue 20. So I just kind of wrote that, you know, Skunk is crying, and my character, she's an angel and he's a demon. So of course he doesn't give a crap about anything except her. You know, he's like, he calls her sweetheart and then turns around and murders everybody. But you know, the thing's crying and she's just like, oh, you're not ugly, and like patting it on the head, and you've got the main character Draven being like, he looks like he smells. And she's like, well, a little. But you know, so he just follows her around, and it was so funny because she was eating at the fire or something, and she went to go feed him an egg, and I was like, I'm gonna look up what squonks eat, and somebody somewhere, bless them, wrote how to take care of your squonk, and they do not eat meat. So she gave him a strawberry. But apparently, to keep your squonk happy, you feed them strawberries.
and not to dissolve into their own tears.
Yes, that's going to be eventually in the story. But there's this one part. So we made up a couple of cryptids, and one of them is this phoenix. Actually, I have the plushie, a phoenix crow, where they have to get the feather for the jar. But every time you try to grab them, they burst into flames and turn to ash. So Squonk it attacks Squonk when he starts wailing, because crows don't like loud noises. And as it bursts into flame, Squonk pushes it down into the tears. And so he did something right for once, and they were able to get a
Go
feather.
Squonk.
Yeah, the Squonk. So he did something good for once, instead of wailing and giving away their position wherever they go. So, but anyway, hi.
Well,
Thanks for having me on. By the
Oh,
way.
I'm glad you're here.
Walk.
What started you down this evil path of cryptids and comics? I mean, it's a rabbit hole once you start. So.
Oh, you know what? I have no idea. I used to do angels, demons, and zombies. And for the story has a prequel that's at the end of 1887, whatever. And it was supposed to be one issue we wrote to explain why that issue is so crazy because they have past lives. But the thought of them wearing cowboy hats was like, oh, I got to write more of this. And for some reason, I was like, you know what? We didn't get to do supernatural hunting in Redemption because it's kind of like this incredibly chaotic disaster. So I was like, wouldn't it be cool if they could just like hunt down cryptids, like be real supernatural hunters? So this rabbit hole started like, oh, she can just hunt them, you know, like the Wendigo or something. And then I was like, well, I mean, what else is out there? So like, I was like, look at that thing. And then we'd find the skunk and then, you know, things I can't even pronounce, like the, it starts with an A.
Lord,
and I'm dyslexic, so
if you look at some of the overseas ones and try to talk about ones you can't pronounce.
This one is I think Aztec or something, but it's an otter with the hand on the tail. I don't know. It's incredibly. I can't wait to see it drawn out because I can't imagine this otter with a tail, hand on its tail. I mean, it's such an odd thing. I feel like, and it of course grabs her because what else would it do with its hand? But yeah, it went down this huge rabbit hole, and I don't know if you ever saw The Last Unicorn, but there's a fire ox in that, and that was always my favorite character. And apparently, it's a mythology thing. I think it's Indian or whatever, but it's a real ox that's on fire. I actually added him in because he's just super cool. So I was like, I didn't know that existed, and then it got even worse. So yeah, I think we're up to the jars that need to be collected. There's 20, and then there's cryptids that are just like, I couldn't think of an ingredient without killing them. So I was like, well, they'll just be like interacting with them. Like we have the Leeds devil. It can't be Jersey Devil because that started in 1900s name, but so we have the Leeds devil, and we have like we have the dog man, of course. And we have ones that we didn't follow territorial as much, you know, because how far can they travel in the 1800s? But their environment matches. Like the Bureau, you know, he's in the marsh, and then you have the Leeds devil is in like a cave, and so I try to keep to the true as we can. The Wampus cat and all that fun stuff. But yeah, the more research you do, the more you're like, hey, did you know this thing exists? like, where did this thing come from? And yeah, we just kept adding on and on. So I think we have like 30 plus. So yeah, there's a lot. And we're not even done. Like my favorite, we're getting the plushie made now is the Snagglegaster. Like, what the hell is that thing? Like, really? I think it was just a giant bird or something with an octopus in its mouth, but I'll go with it has tentacles.
Just one tooth hanging out somewhere.
Yeah, whatever. I'm sure that's a normal thing to see when it's flying overhead. So, but yeah, I told my artist, think of a raptor with a vulture's head and some tentacles sticking out of its mouth, and there you go. You got it. So.
I'm down.
Yeah.
My son moved to Vermont, and they have Pigman and the Side Hill Cruncher, Croncher. I don't know what either of those are, but
it's a Pigman, Jerry.
It's the local legends up there. So yeah,
there are some really cool legends. Like there's this person on Etsy that has every state has the cryptids, and some of them you can tell they just named it something differently. Like it kind of matches. But it's kind of cool to see every state there is or whatever. We did take different cryptids from different states to try to add them in. Most of them are either not friendly or just want to be left alone. But then we have like Bigfoot interacts with them. Mothman interacts with them. Dogman interacts with them. Skunk obviously interacts with them. And the Tommyknockers mess with them and then they help them. So they're probably the only human-esque ones we have, because I mean they're cute little troll-looking guys. So I figure.
What's the lake monster with the camel head? Why am I just coming up with that? That's on that map you're talking about. God, which one is that?
It's not Champ.
Nah, I think it's in Michigan or something, or Wisconsin.
I think someone just posted that, and I thought at first it was the Jersey Devil because the way it
Yeah, the camel head.
It wasn't. It looked like a camel head. Yeah, I think it was on Cryptid Wrangler. Someone posted it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get the wolf woman from Alabama? There's a wolf woman.
Did you, Wendell? Did you get the wolf woman? Because
That's just his wife.
she's tired of you taking your. She's tired of you taking her picture.
The donkey and Greg. I wish I could animate. My whole story would be animated. I had somebody animate some of my covers. I'm obsessed with animation. My goal is to have it as an animated series. Like everyone's like, oh, you can make a movie, and I was like, that's no fun. It's gotta be animated.
We got to keep it going.
Yeah. Well, that too. I mean, the one series has I want to do the first 80 at least. The other 100 isn't as important, but by the time it's done, they'll be like 100 years old, so they might look a little different. I believe that.
Interesting. So I guess if we had to, I'm going to guess Skunk is your favorite.
Well, I think I like the Wendigo, but I don't like the history of it per se, because he's not a nice guy. So I would say Skunk is my favorite. He's got just the perfect personality, and I understand the ugly thing, so I feel for him. I sometimes want to sit in the woods and cry too. So I can relate to Skunk. So I'm gonna
don't we all?
Yeah, I could say Skunk's my favorite. I mean,
Now I'm at Bobby. So.
Most of the pictures I see,
we all.
I always think of the a Shar-Pei with like mange. That's how I picture Skunk, but he came out too cute.
Yeah.
But he does look like a mix between a Shar-Pei with mange and a pig. But yeah. I love Skunk. Yeah.
I mean, we all just want to sit and cry and dissolve into our own tears. So.
Yeah. Well, that's the way to go, man. I mean,
that's my plans tomorrow since the government shut down.
Yeah.
From 8 to 9.
Go dissolve into your own tears.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It's gonna get bad.
Bobby.
Yeah, I'm in Tennessee, and last year was the worst we ever had. It was pure ice, and I actually lost like $1,000 because I'm self-employed and I couldn't leave. But I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I don't think it's gonna be icy. They're saying 2 to 6 inches, which in New York was like a dusting. But here it's like a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a whole weekend off. Nothing.
Yeah. Like I don't care. I don't work Friday through Monday, so I'm like, bring it on. As long as you're done by Monday, I'm good.
If you're in Atlanta, you get a whole week off for this.
Mm-hmm.
What part of Tennessee are you?
I won't go back to work till Tuesday, I bet.
Yeah. I don't work till Tuesday, so I'm all right with that.
I've been stuck inside since Friday. Monday was the first day where I'm like, I want to go to work. I want to go to work. I can't get out of the driveway. I want to go to work. Get me out of this house.
I don't know if I've ever said that, but
I believe was my first time saying it. I was like,
that's bad. Yeah, I
want to go.
I took 2 weeks off for Christmas, and of course I had all these plans to organize. I didn't leave my couch, so I did nothing. America. Yeah, I didn't leave. I did nothing. I'm as long as my legs weren't gonna atrophy, I figured I was fine. But I had to get up to get like food, right? So I was fine. So.
If you just rub the back of them to keep the blood clots.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the only thing that bothers me was those 2 weeks, it was like 50 degrees. My first day back, it was 20 degrees. Like, really? Thanks for nothing. So.
Thanks for mutton.
That too.
What part of Tennessee are you in?
I'm right out of Knoxville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from. Halls, Coreyton, Gibbs.
Yeah. I'm not far from Halls. Yeah. I go to Nashville a lot. I go to Nashville Comic-Con in June. I think I'm actually doing, I don't really like, I don't really like being a table at Comic-Cons because I'm always stuck between, you know, the cryptids and the horror. So like I don't have superheroes or anything. So I haven't done really well at those, but like local small ones I do really well at, and Nashville for some reason loves me. So that one's really good. So this is my first year doing the I did not know about the Lexington Con, and I didn't find out in time to do that one. So I'm very excited to do that one. I'm waiting for the tables to open. So we'll see.
When is that?
Huh?
When's the Lexington Con?
November.
November.
Yeah.
It's right up there by Amanda.
Yeah. Yep.
It's about a little less than 3 hours for me. It's not too bad.
It's
Yeah,
it's a
you're
good,
not too
it's
far
a good
from me.
sized con.
Yeah, I heard it was
Mhm.
large, and I was supposed to go last year, and then my husband got sick, and I was like, I don't want to drive all the way there.
It's a good one. Yeah.
I
We'll probably
I
be
went
there.
I went a couple years back, and there were some big name people there, and they were a-holes.
Really?
Yes.
Disturbing. Yeah. I'll bring
One of
Bigfoot.
them's one of them's dead now, so
What? That was
Well,
not good.
they were big name people in the comic industry.
Ah.
And he was an old
Ah.
Stan Lee?
Don't kick the man while he's down. Come on.
No. It was
Was it actually a cryptid comic book, or was it just?
No, this was like comics, like superhero comics.
Gotcha. Yeah.
He's
A lot of them can
he's
be.
particularly for Batman back in the 80s.
Oh.
And he wanted to charge you to sit at the table and take a picture with him. And
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I had to walk away because of some of the stuff that he was saying. Like I was like, I'm about to 20-year-old me is about to fight an old man. 20-year-old Chai is about to fight an old man in the middle of Lexington.
I have to tell you,
if you had Wendell with you, he'd have windled him, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
So.
I saw this
Yeah.
skit
Nobody
Yeah.
stopped Wendell.
like 2 days ago or something, which was from Cracked or something, and they were these girls having a party, and they were like teenagers trying to figure out who Batman was, and like, oh, he's Bruce Wayne, and then 2 seconds later, you know, Commissioner Gordon comes in, and he's like, okay, you got to sign these NDAs, and they're like, oh, you know who he is? He goes, we've known since 10 minutes in, you know, the richest guy, whatever. Like we try to make him happy so he doesn't leave and all that stuff. So he's like, they wouldn't sign it, so he blows up the house and he's walking out, and you see Batman going, wee, going across. Like they're like, let the Joker out so he has something to do. So it was just really funny. So that just made me think of that because I was like, I just saw it. So yeah.
Well, while we're speaking of that, Marvel or DC?
Neither.
Hot take. All right.
Mainstream. And if you asked me like 80s and 90s, I was obsessed with Ghost Rider, so I probably would have said Marvel. But now either side doesn't really produce anything really worth reading. I don't think they really care anymore. You know, if I had to absolutely choose, I guess I would go Marvel. But I don't read any. I haven't read mainstream since the 90s, like when it was good. So, yeah, indie all the way, baby.
There's so much of it now.
Well, with indie, there's so much more passion because we pay out of pocket. We wouldn't do it if we weren't passionate. When you have comics like Marvel and DC, when they're drawing it, they don't even know the story. They're just like, here, draw this, you know, or the letterer doesn't even read it, or the colorist has no idea what's going on, or any of that stuff. So I don't think anyone really cares.
Getting into Marvel and DC is like trying to get into the Illuminati.
Yeah. They don't pay very well either. Like I
No.
my artist better than Marvel paid their artist because he had the option to work for, I think it was Marvel and DC, and I think, don't quote me, but I think DC was like 20 more a page, but either way, they were not like they used to pay like 120 a page or something really high, and now it's like 65.
Yeah. It's only worth it if you want the credit on your resume. And
Yeah.
even then,
Yeah, and they said they're very, very demanding. Like, you have to do this, and you have the time to do this, and then the letter is the worst, because if everyone else is late, they blame you because you're the letterer and you're the last one that gets it. Like, you get 4 hours to letter the whole thing. So
their time constraints are ridiculous.
yeah, it's really
I think Disney ruined that industry personally.
Oh yeah.
Agreed on a more recent level, but
I was gonna
starting
say,
in the
now-
90s, it
now.
was.
Oh well, no,
Yeah.
it had been declining for a while, but I think Disney kind of pushed it up. I mean, there's been several times Disney has tried to kill the actual print comics, and
I didn't know
the
that.
fans, oh yeah, the fans have been like, no, several
Yeah.
times that's nearly happened, because
Yeah.
it doesn't. They don't make any money off of that one.
Yeah.
Which,
Well, I
you know,
mean,
that's what it's all about for Disney. You got to make the money. So
yeah. My brother's actually the one that got me into comics, and he still collects both comics. He's weird because he actually tried to talk me out of making comics. He's like, "You wrote 16 novels. Why don't you produce those?" I was like, "I'm a horrible writer." I was like, "I'm a great storyteller. It goes great with comics. Like, it just fits." Yeah, I'm not a very good writer, but man, I could tell a story like you would not believe. So I didn't know I was good at comics. Like, I wrote the story. I think when I decided to do the comics, I think we were like 6 novels in, and I was like, this is such a waste. I finally have a talent for something and I can't do anything with it. Like, what? This is such a great story. What the hell am I supposed to do with it? And then I was like, ooh, comics. How hard can it be? Like, the stupidest question on the planet to ask. But
What's the worst?
20,000 later. Yeah.
it's harder to write a comic than a regular novella, right?
Well, I converted. Like, even when I have to like add pages, I still write it like a novella before I write it. Like, my novels are not short. They're like, I think my shortest is 90,000 words. So they're like between 90 and 150,000 words. Every 10,000 words is an issue. That's pretty much how it seems to work
Really?
out. Yeah.
What's an issue? What's an issue in a volume?
So an issue would be about 24 pages, and a volume would be about 125, including covers, so like 130 to 150. I think my trades are like, my first one was 7, and my second one was 5, and my third one was 5 and 5, but technically they go together, so it's technically 10. But I do the hardcover so people can catch up easier, because like a complete moron, I went like super fast. Like most indie people do like 3 to 4 issues a year, and I do 8. So I've been doing this for 2 years and 2 months, and I have 21 issues done. So
Dang.
yeah, I'm not stupid at all. But yeah, I'm actually 5 issues ahead. So I've paid for, most indies don't even go issue ahead, and I have 5 completed. So my issue 1 is live now on Kickstarter, by the way. Search Worthy Chaos. 13 for the other series is February 17th, but I already am in the middle of having 18 drawn. So I already have those 5 issues. So which people like, because when they back the Kickstarter, I just ship them out 2 weeks after it ends. So no waiting 6 months or 2 years or whatever. And I started that to build trust, because people were always posting about, oh, I've been waiting a year for my issue. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have it where, I launch every other month, and then they, mostly because I have 125 issues. I was like, I don't want to be like, 104 when I get them out. So I've been doing them every other month, but yeah, a normal smart person would not do it this way. So don't do as I do as I say. Don't do it. But I love it. Like, I'm making them for me. Everyone's like, how do you know those 5 are going to sell? I was like, I'm going to read them. It's like, these are for me. Like, it's nice if people buy them so they help me pay off my credit card debt from it. But, technically it's for me. So, and I got asked, because when I first started, I got made fun of for all my merch, because I've got more merch than most stores. And they all made fun of me. And then like 6 months in, they're like, so who makes your plushies? And I was like, that's right. I was like, but I always get asked, why do you have so much merch? And I was like, I wanted it, and now it's tax deductible. so bring it on. Yeah.
Does it move? I mean, you sell a lot of it?
I do. These are handmade and cost me like a fortune, but like the commercially released ones, like these, or I have no idea where he is, but I have a vampire chameleon bat that I made up some of my own cryptids. His name is Chatty, by the way, and he sold really well. But doing commercially released ones, I can charge so much less. Like my hand, like Bigfoot is like $99 because that's like, you know, I have to pay to get them made. But my
and it's like a 3 foot tall Bigfoot, so
it's like carrying Alf around. I mean, it really is.
That's
the older one, by the way. If you don't know who Alf is, look it up. But I have a picture on my Kickstarter.
He's from the before time, Shay, in the 80s.
Where I'm holding him and he's like half my body because I'm like 5'1".
Yes, you might be old, Bobby, but I do know who Alf is.
He'll eat your cat.
I had the whole scene on DVD
next month. So,
was he in Ohio? Never mind.
Yeah. He was Mothman.
Yeah. Mothman plushie is being made as we speak. So
Awesome.
yeah, it was very hard to create. Bigfoot was the hardest to make him somewhat unique. I mean, what is there to really make him unique? With Mothman, I originally made him like blue, you know, because I was like, let's make him unique. And then I was like, well, everyone's going to want traditional. So then I went and made the red and black one, and now everyone's torn and they want both. So now I have both. So I have, so everyone wanted both. And I was like, all right, well, whatever. So those are getting made. But, and then I love the metal pins. I don't know if you can see that, but.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have pins. So this is so addicting. Like, I think I just sent the both Mothmans, and the plus side though, you have to pay $100 per mold, but the Mothman's the same mold, just like Bigfoot and Yeti are the same mold. So I'm like, well, I mean, it's only 100. You got to get both of them then. Oh, nice. I like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've got our own challenge coin.
Actually, I just talked to someone today about getting coins, so maybe.
Well,
so
I could probably beat their price, so because I make
probably. Right now,
yeah, Glenn's your go-to guy for that.
Nice. Right now, my pin maker has Loch Ness, both the Mothmen, and I just sent them. Oh, my Anubis and Bastille pins because somebody requested them so we'll get those made. But yeah, it's addicting. So I figure once you're 28,000 in debt, what's another couple of thousand? So
that's what I'm talking about.
You know.
Bury the needle.
You know, I don't have kids. My husband's always like, if you die, no, whatever, you debt goes with you. Yeah, that works out. So yeah, he was stupid. He goes, go all out for 2 years, and I did. And then he's like, you went all out. I was like, those were your exact words.
You told me to.
You told me to. And then it came where, so this is how stupid I am. Passionate. They say passionate. It's stupid. So I had 5 ahead issues, right? So I'm just like, oh, I could just do 5 Kickstarters this year, get my money from that, and get out of debt, right? Let's start a new series. Okay. So here we are. Starting a new series, but I will say my Kickstarter.
That's the ADHD mindset.
Yeah,
Yep, that's what I feel.
My friend went to lunch with me. Goes, I think you need to like get something for your ADHD, and I was like, nah, it's working for me. Like it's
a superpower if you can channel it.
Yeah,
if you can get that hyper focus to go in toward a goal, forget about it. You're better than any. You're like I said from Windows, a force of nature.
I've always had like a collection I've had to collect, but I think because the comic book is so diverse that it keeps I've not gotten tired of it. And I've been writing it for like 4 years now, and the comic for 2 years. But I used to like all my money's going to go to something. So like before this, it was Donald Duck. I was collecting Donald Duck. I got over 4,000. I have the Guinness Book of World Records. Technically, I've just been too lazy to count them. And before that, it was like something else. So I figured this one at least gets some money back, and it's tax deductible. Best hobby ever. So I'm just saying. So,
my first coin is a Mount Vernon monster where I grew up in Virginia.
So are you making these, or you're getting them made?
I'm getting them made. and I designed him. That's what Bigfoot's name would be if it was actual animal in Latin. That's my high school seal there. Has the mint seal, and that's George Washington's head on Bigfoot. So since it's right outside of Washington D.C., yeah.
I definitely
like you said,
I definitely need coins made because I like the easy to ship items like the pins and
pirate ship is your friend.
Yeah. But I like things like that. Like I have for this issue 1, I started where you can buy the journal. You get your own little journal, and then each Kickstarter you get pages of whatever cryptid they encountered. So like this one, you get the Wendigo and the Bigfoot page, and then you can collect them in the journals. And the pages are free as long as you buy the journal and you back that specific Kickstarter. Then you get the pages for free. So a couple people bought those, so hopefully they like that. And I just like the journal stuff. And we have next issue, we're gonna have the maps where you can mark where all the cryptids were seen and what environment they were in. And then the issue after that starts the ingredient jars. So I made a box that holds the jars, and it holds a map, and it holds your journal, and you can collect the jars as you go. So the Wendigo is ground up antler. Of course, Skunk is tears. I think there's a fang for the werewolf. There's claws for the chupacabra, which is real coyote claws. So so each one there's 20 jars that you can collect as she goes. So I'm excited for that. To start
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna make those. I'm gonna label them and all that stuff. I got all the jars because I don't just buy like one. I was like, well, let's see, 20 times 20. How many jars do I need? So yeah, there's jars all over the place. And we have sawdust for the Mothman to mix with micro powder and all that stuff. So it'll be fun.
This is going to ruin questions for my show, but do you ever sell your tattoos as or sell your drawings as flash?
As flesh? No.
Flash, like tattoo art, flash.
Oh, I haven't.
Because some of those drawings, somebody would like. I've looked at them like, man, I don't have tattoos, but that. Like some of the drawings are amazing.
I kind of want a tattoo, but I'm such a wuss. Like, and it has to be where I could see it. So I want it on my calf, and it was like, oh, that's the most painful place. And it's like, of course it is. But yeah, one day I said, if I ever, because I don't think it's ever gonna happen, if I ever have 500 backers, I have to get a tattoo. And I'm just like, I hope it stays at $4.99. But yeah, so that's the rule. 400. I'm hoping for 200 backers this time, which has never happened. 150 is my highest, but I'm at 148 now, so I still have 15 days to go. So
it's not. It couldn't be that bad if you just promised a tattoo, and it's like, I'll get a full back tattoo. That'd be something. Like, come on. Just keep
I don't know what I want now. I used to want Anubis, and now I'm just like, oh, Skunk would look great as a tattoo.
Oh, Skunk.
Well,
spirit animal.
The Wendigo would too.
Spirit animal. Yeah, the Wendigo was my second choice. I think
that
he's
would
adorable.
make a good calf one.
That face.
Yeah, that's probably your best one.
I have these in. It's trapped behind all my crap, but in my curio cabinet I have the handmade versions of these. So what I did was, instead of being smart and having somebody create this, I had a sculptor make each cryptid, and then they scan it. So I get the handmade one, and then I get the 3D one. So that's gonna be good.
Cool.
I see the ones you're drawing, the concept art.
Yeah,
on Facebook. Like, man,
this is Skunk. He's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the Yeti and the Bigfoot, like you said, they're the same thing. But yeah, that's a cool drawing.
Well, how that happened was I wasn't planning. Yeti's not even in the issue. I'm gonna add him later now. But I posted the Bigfoot, and somebody's like, "Can you color him to be a Yeti?" I was like, "Sure." So I just changed him. I was like, "Well, now that I have him, I mean, I might as well do stuff with him." So now we have the Yeti, which was very popular at the convention. That actually had nothing to do with cryptids. People love the Yeti. So I was like, I did not expect that. So that worked out. So
yeah, the Yeti is kind of like people who are obsessed with dinosaurs. They go through an Ice Age phase. People obsessed with cryptid go through like a Yeti phase. It's kind of weird.
Actually, I have Yeti version of him coming in the mail. He's all white with like bluish eyes and all that. So he's on the way. These things, man, to ship them. I was so excited because one of my clients bought him yesterday. So I was like, I don't have to ship him. I'm so excited. I'm just gonna drive him to your house, man. So that made my day. So, and this one's mine. He doesn't go anywhere. So actually, my husband stole one too. So I was like, what are you gonna do with him? He's like, he's awesome. I was like, yes, but so whatever. He's adorable.
Yeah, the chibi Wendigo.
Oh, I love that so much. I'm like, how cute is that? But now I want them all chibi. I mean, they're not, you know. How many of these are going to do? I mean, Skunk's already cute. So, but that Wendigo, I was like, oh, he's going to be a pin now, and I'm going to have to get him a plushie. And now I need a handmade statue of that one because he's just, look at his big eyes. I'm like, you're not supposed to be adorable. You're like a bloodthirsty creature, but he's so cute. Pet him. So, yeah.
Pet him.
Yeah,
Lose your hand, but pet him.
Why,
Yeah.
if not friend, why friend shaped?
I was just like, oh, so adorable. I'm actually mad that he's like this, like, you know, dark possessed cannibal. I was like, but he's so cute.
Look
Maybe
at
he's-
him.
Maybe he just misunderstood.
I think he's misunderstood.
He
I
just needs
want
a
to
hug.
Yeah, he just
He's
needs
just
a
a
hug.
bo.
I want
He's
to.
just a
Don't do that
He's a
again,
good
Bob.
Wendigo, yeah, for we is.
So we have two Wendigos.
He
We
just
have,
wants your kisses.
Yeah.
Boop his
we have
nose.
two. So we have the normal deer antlered ones. I don't know if normal, but the regular one with the deer antlers, and then this one has the marking on his head. So he's the alpha Wendigo who stalks her. And I was just like, oh, maybe we could make him like a wood spear, and the other one's the real Wendigo. She's like, then it's not a Wendigo. I was like, but he's so cute. Like, it's like,
He
mean,
just
we
needs
could-
the pets and he needs your kisses.
I mean,
And
don't
you
let
need
him
the
bite or
cuddles.
anything. But yeah.
Take your
So, yeah.
Wendigo
I
out for
mean,
the
it might
peas and
be-
boots.
I mean, it might be worth it.
Right? Chibi. I mean, he's gonna be adorable. I don't know if you saw the other plushie of him. There's so much crap in here, you have no idea. My husband goes, my husband's
I
like,
think
we
I
can
did.
build an extension with 2 floors for our stuff. And I was like, do not bring that up if you're not gonna do it. So
Make it
Don't
sound
even
like
get
you
me
keep-
started.
right? Like I can fill that because I was like, oh, the top layer could be like the podcast and all my art tables, and then you just go down the stairs and there's all the hardcovers and comics and plushies and the boxes, and I'm just like, this is the tax deductible building, right? Like, yeah. So now we might be doing that. So, like I said, more debt. What the hell?
You
It'll
dead
work.
one day, it
Take it
won't
with
even
you.
matter.
That's right. Absolutely.
Take it with you. So
Yeah.
where do you do your research for your characters, or is it all you?
My cryptid characters, mostly like anywhere. Like I have books. I have Wikipedia is like the best. And then I try to find other websites, and then I kind of like merge them to what I want, to make them somewhat useful. The only major cryptid I think that I changed was I gave the Wampus cat a quilled tail that throws the quills at you, because it just Wampus sounds like it would hit you with the quilled tail. So that's the only change I think I really made to them. But yeah, I did a lot of research on them, and I took the parts that I liked, like with the Wendigo, man. Everything it said, it's like it's gonna destroy everything. It's like, it's stronger than this, it's faster than that, and I'm just like, and Bigfoot's gonna eventually fight him. So he does get bit by him. So in this issue, you see him kind of chokehold him. If you went on Kickstarter, the page is there. The Wendigo was going after her while she's sleeping, so he went after the Wendigo and pulled him back in a chokehold. But of course, he, how long can you hold a freaking Wendigo? So does not go well, right? Yeah. Anyway.
Depends if they know their wrestling moves. So
Yeah.
Bigfoot should be a-
There you go.
Bigfoot should be a puppet. You could just do
Who
that.
just said to me that they knew what the
Just-
move
just-
was?
Just tombstone
like-
him.
Yeah, they knew like the move. I forgot what they said, but like, oh, you had him do a something move, and I was like, we'll go with that. Like, I don't know what it was.
Well, Amanda's a professional wrestler, so you can get your move names from her. So
There you go.
I do jujitsu, so I know a little bit about it, but probably not the official wrestling move.
I'm trying to think of what they said. What they
The
said, 'cause they're like, "Oh, you did the official
Rear
something, and
naked.
it's respected." And I was like, "Right, sure I did."
Yeah. All right.
I was like, "If you say so." Like, I don't know. I'll go with that. Oh, wait, let's see. The Nelson, the half Nelson.
Oh, the half thing. Yeah.
Yeah. She said, "We just
There you
noticed
go.
the panel you have with Bigfoot putting half Nelson on a Wendigo," and I was like, "Okay."
Nice.
Yeah, I meant to do that.
Yeah, that was obviously planned. So we'll go with that.
Nice. I
you
like it.
shouldn't call it like the Bob or something. So
Nothing I do.
She bobbed him.
Like I will literally write stuff and I don't know the reason I wrote it until like later. Like in the Redemption series, one of the angels who's a main character has no wings. I had no idea. I was like, everyone's like, why doesn't he have wings? It's like, I have no idea. In issue 2 of this one, you find out. he has no wings. Because well, that's what I said. But then when I was writing the Western, because it's kind of a prequel, it's their previous life, you see why he doesn't have wings. And I was like, oh, it's a cool reason. So I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, worked out. So my character is one of my personalities and she controls all of that. So I just leave it to her. She'll write it. I
feel
sit
that.
down. Yeah. Well, I'll write something and then have an argument with the character. I'm like, this does not make any sense. This is a stupid scene. This makes no sense. She's like, no. Keep writing it. I was like, I don't know what the hell you're doing. So I wrote this whole scene and it wound up being really cool. And I said it to my co-writer. My co-writer is, where the hell did you get that idea? I was like, don't look at me. She's like, I can't wait to see what happens. I was like, me too. So I don't know. So as long as I win in daily life and I control that, I guess we're all right. So
Talking to yourself and yourself answers.
yeah. Well, as long as one of us wins, I suppose it's all right. So
that's what I was about to ask. I'm afraid to. How many personalities do you have? So
I'm okay with it.
yeah. There's at least her in there. And I always joke about that because I've had her in my head for like 17 years and I just never did anything with it. And then I met my co-writer and my co-writer has Draven, in the head. And I was like, these two characters, I always joke about these two characters were in some other dimension. They're just trapped in us and we're writing what their life was in this other dimension because things will just happen and we'll be like, that's weird, but okay. And then like 5 novels later, you're like, oh, that's why it did that. So it's all a big shock to me. So it's fun. I don't know what's going to happen.
you have no end game. Well, have you ever been out in the woods and done any researching for cryptids?
I have gone hiking and I've never come across anything. I've heard a damn fox that sounds like a freaking demon. But definitely wasn't anything I saw. The only thing I've ever seen that's more on the paranormal side is a shadow man, which I heard is very common. But so I didn't know what it was when I saw it, but I was a teenager and I was house sitting. Fortunately, it was not my house. And I was in bed, and normally I like pitch black, but now I can't remember if I like pitch black because of this or if I liked it before and something was screwed up. So there was light coming from the hallway, and I kind of looked over, and all you see is this tall shadow of a man, like going across. And you can see how stupid I am in a second. So this shadow goes across the wall. I'm watching it go across the wall. It's going across, and then it goes under the bed. So like a freaking moron, I jumped up to go look at it. I was like, whoa, what am I thinking? Like, what the hell? So I did not look under the bed. I was like, that's probably the dumbest thing I've ever done. So I went back and I laid down and I'm just like, I probably dreamed that, right? That was probably not real. It's probably fake. So like 5 years later, I was watching some haunted thing and she's like, oh, I saw the shadow man. He walked across and then he went under the bed. I was like, hey, that's my guy. So I was like, I don't know. But yeah,
you just stuck your head under the bed when peekaboo.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious what was under there, but I used to have this fear of putting my hands behind my head when I was a kid, like something would grab it. So for me to jump up and look under the bed, that was definitely not my main personality. But I don't know. I will say though, I wasn't terrified of it. At least I don't remember being terrified of it. I think afterwards I just kind of convinced myself that wasn't really there. Like I must have fallen asleep and I didn't know about it. But I wasn't like looking at it like paralyzed in fear. I was just kind of like curiously watching the thing go across. Like what's going on? And that's it. So I don't know. It was weird, but it stuck with me for the last 30 years. So man, I'm old. All right. But yeah.
Are you gonna add Shadow Man to your series?
Probably. I added Cerberus in the cave, and he's actually in book. There's too many books. Series 4. I think he's in series 4. But yeah, he'll probably be in there. The Minotaur is in there too. I pretty much add. It's like a whole kit and caboodle of everything. But yeah, there's also for no reason whatsoever there is a not deer. I don't know why this thing is popular. It's the way we're going to draw it is going to be just like a deer that looks like it just got pulled in different directions. Like I don't even know how this thing's going to look. But my co-writer's like, I can see them being in the woods because right now they're fighting the burrow, the alligator thing. She's like, oh, he'll see them in this weird creature that looks like a deer, and he's gonna say, "That's not a deer," and she's gonna be like, "How did you know?" And it's gonna like this the phrase that's gonna happen. But yeah, I don't know why this thing's popular. It is a random not deer. So, and what a name! Who the hell named that? Not deer.
On the Appalachian TikTok, it's a big thing.
Yeah. Well, I was really surprised because I always write in my post, "What's the next cryptid we should do?" And like 3 people said not deer, and I was like, I wasn't planning to do a deer. Like, what are you talking about? They're like, oh. And then the other thing was
no, not deer, but like a not deer.
Yeah, not deer. And I was like, yeah, not a deer. And it was like, no, not deer. And I was like,
what if one of your cryptids was just whistling in the forest? That wasn't a thing. It was just like the whistle.
That's creepy. I had what is
like
it called?
the Kill Bill whistle?
Yeah.
Well, that's an Appalachian thing too. Is the whistle?
Yeah, we have random things pop up like how do you say it? Is a hung dog, ho dog, or whatever it is. If you buy the description, it sounds like the weirdest thing ever. So I was like, well, I definitely have to put that in there. And the how do you say it? The Acool, the AKOOL,
A cool.
Yeah, it's called that because it makes that sound like a Pokemon. But I just want it because I want a baby version of a monkey with wings, the bat wings. I mean, that's just gonna be like, I gotta have that. So, you know,
that's timely for Wicked.
Cool. Yeah, like that owl that I also can't pronounce. It's got these spikes on its shoulders, and it's just like this cool looking snow owl with long legs or whatever. I was like, well, I gotta have that thing in there. So
I want to see your plushie for the Shadow Man. Just be the basic outline of a person, and it just be solid black.
Yeah, that can do that.
Nothing else.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I was thinking about what is it? I looked it up yesterday. Is it Fresno Nightcrawlers, or how do you say it?
Fresno,
yeah.
Fresno
I was like, how would you make that unique? Yeah, that's all it is.
Just 2 pairs of pants.
Oh, yeah, that thing. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like white pants.
Oh, the Fresno things.
The Nightcrawler.
Yeah, the Nightcrawler. Yeah. So like, I was like, I could do that, but like, how do I make that unique? You know, I mean, that's an easy plushie for me, so I can do it myself. So I don't know if we could find a way to make that look unique.
Do that in Hobby Lobby in 15 minutes.
Yeah. I'm just gonna tie 2 socks together and be like, here you go. Yeah, I am gonna try to do felt plushies that I'm gonna try to make them because I saw this awful looking, no offense to anyone, an awful looking Bigfoot made out of felt on Etsy, and that thing sold. I was like, I can do better than that. What's your famous last words? I'm sure. But I'm gonna try to do that. I printed out the Bigfoot that I have line art, and I'm gonna try to like put it over the but I can't do anything cheap. Like I bought the 50 cents felt, and then I fell into this rabbit hole of like, oh, you need the felt that's like $2.50 a sheet, and I was like, son of a bitch. So like now I spent like $100. I am the epitome of I need everything for that hobby, even if I'm never going to do it. So my hobby is starting hobbies.
Are we the same people?
Yeah. My husband yells at me all the time. He's like, you bought all that stuff for the felting? And I was like, yeah, someday. I mean, you know.
It's like having a
Maybe.
fancy new notebook for a new project.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it was so funny because I actually saw that cartoon somewhere where the person was showing them their hobby room. And they're like, oh, this is the so-and-so. They're like, it's still in the box. And like, yeah. And then this other hobby. And they're like, it's still in the box. They're like, yeah, my hobby is collecting hobbies. I don't do any of them. So it fits perfectly.
Story of my life.
Yeah.
The room I'm in right now describes that.
It's the best part of a hobby. Finding everything there absolutely is to it. Buying every single supply,
spending ridiculous amounts of money on it and never doing it.
Buying the top end stuff.
Possible. The more you spend on it, the more you like that. Yeah. That's how it works. Didn't you know that?
And then just like that couple days worth of disappointment at the end when you're like, yeah, I don't, you know.
I think for the felting one, I think I did like one cat. And I was like, that's gonna kill my wrist. Forget that. So I have not done another felting thing, and I had everything. Like I have kits all over the house, little dragons. You can do felting little dragons and all that. No,
it was me with crocheting.
But is felting different than sewing? Stupid man question. I know.
Felting.
How ignorant, Glenn.
There's two kinds of felting. The felting is where you take
Felting
yarn. That's of course the more expensive stuff because that's how you got to go. That's like usually I think it's alpaca. I think that they stretch it out, they do whatever, and then you have to stab it. Which this is really good when you're in a bad mood. You have to stab it with a needle over 1,000 times to make it solid,
Jesus. And
then you do it again in another spot. So I think the woman, if you watch the tutorial, she says you can't do less than 1,000 stabbings. I don't know who's counting them, but yeah. So I lasted one. I did one tiny cat, which I have somewhere. It's a little
What
cat.
is it called? Hang on. I'm officially
Felting?
interested.
Felting.
It sounds like something that's not friendly for FM.
You have to worry about that because we're not on it.
It sounds like
Over
Marsha,
1,000, yeah.
Marsha Brady brushing her hair.
One person said that your felting should have, if you're doing a small one, should have over 10,000 stabs.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know who's counting it. Like, I don't know.
What in the crazy cat lady is this?
Like, you stab
Well,
it with like a
people do ones of people's animals, and you can get them custom made to.
Jesus Christ, look at this. All right, the show's officially derailed.
So I didn't make this because that would have been too talented. But somebody made me. This is all felt. This is felting. She charged me like, I don't even know, $100 for this. I'm like, how many times did you stab this? I mean, it's a whole freaking thing. Like,
Wow.
I'm like, you charge way too little, but here's your 100. So.
All right, Bob.
Look at this head.
Ah!
In the world. Why though? 1,000 times baby head.
Let me tell you, it is. I mean, your wrist is like, you calloused hands, crazy felt lady. I didn't. Yeah. I'm crazy everything.
My wrist would be just fine. So
I was going to say my wrist is very conditioned. I could be a felting master.
It's another hobby I could put on my list. No.
He said those are Andy level stabbing numbers.
oh my God.
Christopher.
I'm gonna mute myself.
It's like if you have anger issues for like, I guess like a sports person or a guy would be like boxing, and this would be like a woman's or someone that doesn't want to leave the house. Just stab at this thing, and hopefully it turns into something. So, hi, Candy. Yeah.
Now it's funny. I had contemplated getting into that too, but then I was like, well, I tried embroidery and just got mad.
Yeah. Oh, I tried. So I can knit if it's a straight thing like a scarf, and if there's an error, I can't fix it. I just know how to do. So I tried crocheting because there was all these really cool patterns for like hellhounds, and I could do all this stuff. I took a class with this chick that was miserable. Anyway, so I could not do it. She's like, "Oh, just do this," and I was like, "I don't know what."
That's not how my brain works, ma'am.
I was like, and she's like, "All you do is like go under and wrap around." I was like,
"No."
So I'm just gonna go. I'm just like, yeah, no.
Yeah, that sounds like me. If I can't learn it from one YouTube video, then I'm like,
yeah.
Are the Muppets?
YouTube video. I was like, I was watching her over and over again. I was like, okay, rewind. And I was watching it again. I was like, rewind.
No.
Is this how they made the Muppets from felting?
No.
Did Jim Henson stab the Muppets 1,000 times?
I could see that on a
Henson was
bad
a
day,
serial
but I don't think
killer,
I really
so-
felt it.
Oh, Kermit! Oh, Kermit!
Are you Miss Piggy in this scenario? Like, what are you doing?
Yes. Yoda.
Ah, I see.
Jesus Christ.
Now it's all I'm gonna picture, but okay.
He was
He does
also
look like
real.
felt though, especially like Kermit, because he's all got those little.
Yeah, like the
Like-
Muppets, like their faces and their skin is like the felt like that.
Yeah, that's because they're old.
I mean, it could have been that way, but
Yeah.
doubtful.
I don't think they would stay together, stay like in one piece all this time.
Grover,
Yeah, I
got
can see
stabbed.
that. I just if you watch I don't watch Saturday Night Live anymore because it hasn't been funny in 40 years, but there's a Sesame Street one, and it's the movie for Grouchy, but it's played like the
Oh,
trailer
with
for the-
David
Okay.
Harborough.
Oh, it is so funny. It's like Grouchy. It cracks me up. Go watch it. Last time I watched it during Facebook, I was like, we're gonna get like disconnected, but we're gonna watch as much as we can. But it's just so funny. And yeah, you get to see Cookie
The
Monster.
slow,
Yeah.
the slow way he starts talking is just,
He's like, and how do you feel? Grouchy.
and then then the
Burn
Bert
on you
and Ernie
with
one.
the yellow ducky. Just give him the duck. No way, man. Yeah, I loved it. And then we have, of course, the count 1, 2, 3 pills for me. And I think the Big Bird was like a stripper. Like, want to see this Big Bird dance? Yeah, go watch it. My husband repeats that all day long. I was like, it doesn't sound good from you, but okay. But yeah. Oh, and Elmo. You're only trying to arrest Elmo. So yeah, definitely. My Kickstarter keeps going up and the number of backers doesn't go up, which means somebody just keeps adding stuff, which cracks me up every time. I was like, the thing about my Kickstarter is like most people have like 3 tiers. I have so much merch that, and this is the least I've had. There's 27 tiers. Usually I have like 40.
Good
27.
Lord.
Yeah.
My gosh.
So
When we put together our Kickstarter, it was hard enough with what we had. I can only imagine doing
that's not including the
27
add-ons.
tiers.
Yeah, that's not including the add-ons. The add-ons are probably like another 50. Which I need like a copy button. Like they just have the import now, so that's gonna help for redemption because I just import like everything because there is 13 back issues, so it's kind of like I have to do the same thing over and over again. But this is issue 1, so like I just had to add everything in. But then there's like, oh, I can add in the 3D. I don't even think I put the pillow in there. I was like, we'll do it next time. Like, I probably what you see in there is like 60% of the merch I have. So it's a lot. And now with the cryptids, this was like the worst thing to do for me because I love merch, and now there's like 1 to 3 new cryptids per issue. Like that is like merch galore. This is like the dumbest thing I could have done, but so we'll see how that goes.
Greg Ogle wants to employ you to sell his stuff. He says, you need to sell my CDs and DVDs.
Yeah, I'll have to start selling the Donald stuff so I can start paying for stuff. So there's plenty of it. I won't sell my Donald cowboy though. I have 752 Donalds with the cowboy hat. So
Do you have any Gizmo ducks?
I don't. I do love Gizmo Duck, but no, I don't. I had it. Now I narrowed it down to just Donald as a cowboy because I have like 643 pins, and then I have the 752 Donald with the cowboy, and then that's not including the other 4 rooms worth of stuff. So,
What was the word Gizmo Duck had to say to turn into Gizmo Duck?
You don't feed the duck after midnight.
No, you know, Scrooge McDuck's scientist Gyro. He made it to where he had to say a crazy word for the Gizmo Duck character.
oh, I remember that.
And
And the guy,
turns out that Gizmo Duck's the guy was Howard, I think his name, not Howard the Duck. Come on,
No,
but
not
yeah,
Howard.
he always said that. His mom said it when they were in the trailer, and he walked in and stubbed his toe and said it. And went, "Here's Gizmo Duck." All of a sudden,
was the word he said? Oh, like no, what is it? I remember it. Not Gizmo.
Gizmo Duck's phrase. Blathering Blatherskite. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
How do you remember this stuff?
Yeah.
Fancy
He looked
Duck's
awesome.
name was. I've got a computer right here. I'm not.
Well,
I-
and
I
it is
ju-
also, Glenn, it is also the ADHD brain.
I just watched it like 2 weeks ago as well. I watched the whole Gizmo Duck series.
It's
I
funny
loved
because
it.
like, I
Blaster and
never
Blaster
knew.
Sky.
I never knew I was ADHD. I knew I was dyslexic, and it wasn't until like after my friend convinced me I was ADHD, and I was like, yeah, it's working for me. Everything fit. Like the stupidest random things, like they're like, oh, you have a favorite spoon, or you can't use the big spoon. I was like, oh, I can't use the big spoon. I'm like, my mouth isn't big enough for all the talking I do. It's not big enough. But they're like, oh, you have you don't remember, you don't miss anybody when they're not around because you never think about them. And I was like, yeah. There's
And it
two
makes-
people in my life. There's my co-writer and my husband, and they're the only two people I would notice if they disappeared. Everyone else, I'd be like, oh, did I ever talk to them again?
And it makes people mad that you never holler at them because like you never talk to me. I was like, well, I don't see you.
I-
But when
like-
you're around, I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Like, so, like, I have friends that will, like, message me. They message me, like, every 3 months. And when one messages me to go out to lunch, I message the other one to go out to dinner to get all the friendship stuff out of the way in one day. And I was like, I'm just going to get it all done. And then this past week, last week, I had lunch with a friend. And that person somehow psychically knew and wrote and go, want to go to dinner? I was like, yes, it is a friendship day. Come on over. So yeah, so I get all the friendship stuff out of the way. So,
Friendship binge.
yeah. It's like get it all out of the way, and then like my quote unquote best friend lives 30 minutes from me. She's on her second kid, and I have not met either kid yet. So I'm just like, I'll see them when they go off to college. I'm assuming so. Maybe.
Well, she's got the third on the way, so we'll just do it all in one.
I might as well wait till you're done. I mean, I don't want to start over each time.
A
Have to
high school
remember their name.
graduation invite. So
Yeah, see, I might as well get it all out of the way. So, but yeah, and I they say that like dyslexic won't remember your name, but they remember your face. I don't remember either. I'm like, you look familiar. I used to pet sit. Now I do pet grooming, but I used to pet sit, and I literally told this woman that I never remember anybody's face because I meet you once and then I just deal with the pets. So like 6 months later, someone's waving to me and I'm like, who the hell is this? And she's like, you pet sit for me? I was like, oh, really? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, but in your defense, you did warn me.
It's like Ace Ventura. Oh yeah, the bitch. Beacon East.
how do you survive in East Tennessee? I haven't lived there in 20 years. I go into Walmart and I run into 10 people I know, and they're like, "Hey, Glenn." I'm like,
I was at the vet with my dog, and I saw this woman with 2 dogs, and I was like, I know I groomed those dogs. They look freshly groomed. Did I lose clients? I didn't realize. I literally groomed them 2 weeks ago and did not remember. I was like, someone groomed these dogs.
And for me, it's like
started
I will
puffing
remember-
a little bit. Was gonna have a little throwdown.
I'll remember your pet before I remember you.
Yeah. Well, it was so funny because they probably shouldn't have told me this, but I was like, what's her name? Like when she left to the vet people, like, oh, she's so-and-so. And I was like, no. And then finally I was like, what's the last name? And they're like, this. And I was like, no. And then I looked it up on my calendar. I was like, oh, 2 weeks ago. It's a good thing I wasn't like, what crappy grooms? Like, what the hell? Who did that? So, yeah, she was there with her pet. Two dogs. I couldn't remember either one of them. I had only been grooming them for like literally 3.5 years. So it was like, why would I remember that? So
Just 3 years.
No, see, I could like see you on a weekly basis, forget the name, but I meet your pet. I'm always gonna remember that Sassy likes temptation treats that are salmon flavored, and his favorite toy is the strawberry colored mouse.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna remember you or your address.
Dude, I don't remember them or their address, but I know everyone's layout. I would have been a great cat burglar. Like, I remember everyone's layout. Like, they might not call me for 10 years, and they're like, you probably don't remember me. I was like, oh, you're the one with the kitchen to the left and like whatever. And they're like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I remember.
You used to have the wreath over over where the refrigerator was, but then
yeah, absolutely.
And like 2 weeks later, you used to have the white refrigerator, but then you got the silver Frigidaire.
Do you ever
Yeah,
have
but I don't know
people?
what your name is or what you look like. But yeah.
Do you ever have people from high school that are just any kind of like workplace that you know their names and know way too much about them, but you really have never done research? You just pick up little clues from years, and somebody
not
asks you,
the
and
name, but the second part of that. Like I'll know all
just
things about
like
them.
you know, like where they work, what kind of car they drove, what kind of issue it had, and like even like different stuff.
Well, and
that
their
like you've never met them.
I was never friends with them in school, but I do know that their mama passed away
Mhm.
May 14th of 2002. And
Oh yeah, I used to wait on you at Kmart all the time. Remember you came through, you bought that time, and asked you. And
History.
what just happened? Who the hell are you?
Something about the wave. People wave to me all the time because they know what my mobile van looks like. I don't know what their cars look like. I'm like, who the hell are these people? So people wave to me all the time. I have no idea.
Is it dressed up like a Cocker Spaniel, like on Dumb and Dumber?
No,
Please,
but today is the second day
Say
that
yes.
I parked in somebody's driveway and they backed into me because they backed out of their garage without looking.
they hit the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
I don't have one of those, but I would drive it if I did. So I'm all for the Oscar Wiener van. That thing's
That
awesome.
sounds like a Pete. That sounds like a Pete and Pete subplot. It's like somebody just drives the Wienermobile around.
Don't knock that man, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Pete and Pete was a show from the 90s, Shay. It was pretty good.
I could explain.
Was it prior to 96?
No one
I
knows.
just realized she has antlers on. I did not realize
That's why I
that.
said we support antlers and
She's a Wendigo.
Yeah. Yeah, I had
specifically Wendigo.
Yeah, I had two people yell at me at two completely. One was Reddit and one was one of the cryptid group. One yelled at me that the Wendigo didn't have antlers, and I was like, "You realize it's fiction, right? In mine, it's fiction." And then I had somebody yell at me that the Jersey Devil isn't a cryptid, and I was like, "Well, it is now." I was like,
"You can go screw yourself."
Yeah.
It's not a cryptid. What is it?
That's what he's like. It's a supernatural creature. Like that's what a cryptid is.
Exactly.
And they said the Wendigo
It's actually an unofficial, actually.
Yeah, actually.
Or
And then they were like, the
who is our
Wendigo's
friend?
not.
Who is our friend that says Mothman's not a cryptid, Glenn?
Why?
They can go to hell, whoever they are.
I don't
They're already
remember
there.
maybe.
They're already there.
Well, they said the Wendigo's not one because it's possessed by an evil spirit. I was like, but it's possessed by an evil spirit that is now a cryptid. It is a now.
It's a cryptid.
It's not a cryptid. But they were taking it so like they were like to throw down. I was like, I wrote out this whole explanation and I sent it. And I was like, never mind. Block. I was like, sorry.
The platypus used to be a cryptid, for God's sake. A Wendigo is definitely a cryptid.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, just enjoy the damn thing. I don't know.
Called the platypus.
I'm just now unofficially. I am just now a Wendigo. So
You're a Wendigo.
I wish I could show you the
I can't say Wendigo. I always call it Wendigo.
Wendigo.
yeah, no, it's not. It's not a Wendigo. It is a Wendigo.
It works. It hangs outside of Dollar General. Get away from that Wendigo. She's gonna try to get a cigarette.
There you go.
Wendigo's always asking for cigarettes, offering favors.
Whatever works. Just the only thing that freaks me out is that they'll call you. Like I'm just like,
oh, we will. We
Yeah.
will.
Wendigo. Greg's next documentary is about the Great
Repeatedly.
Wendigo.
I already hear enough voices. I don't need to have this thing calling me in the woods. I'd just be like, get in line. Whatever.
No, and it's gonna specific. I'm telling you, it's gonna specifically sound like
Moist.
Corissa. Corissa.
I'm gonna be like, "Mom?"
Corissa.
I was like, am I in trouble? I don't want to deal with that. Call me later.
Wendigo.
I'm working.
I will happily make a guest appearance, Greg. just walking out like Pretty Woman attire. Corissa.
Just invented a white trash cryptid.
I'm in my comic book now.
Instead of a not deer, it's an ain't
Oh
deer.
my god, I love it. Reindeer. Oh, this is magic.
I gave myself
Don't cry.
Reindeer got me. I
Carissa
came up
Metapommels.
I'm
Where's
gonna
my
hear her
aunt-
voice.
where's my
I'm gonna
aunt
hear
here?
her voice in my sleep. Like, what?
Carissa.
I can't stand on its hind legs because it's too fat because it's got diabetes. The ain't deer has to ride a cart from Walmart. It's a rascal. It's an ain't deer.
Yeah.
She also carries around like a clay box of Ritz crackers.
For blood sugar.
It's your superpower.
Yeah.
You gotta have a
Oh.
super.
That's a good
We're all
question.
copyrighted. Nobody else can take this.
The ain't deer.
Copyrighted for this show.
There's
Only the
only
malt
two
liquor.
people that
Yeah.
follow the show, so
No, see,
There you
I'm
go.
gonna have one that's stuck in the Ritz cracker box alongside. I've pushed the so that it sits in the box.
The ain't deer's got me.
Of course. Like, that's obvious.
Picture this. like that Leroy the Redneck Reindeer from the Joe Diffie song.
Yes.
The ain't deer.
Here.
does it resemble Brenda?
Well,
Whoa.
well, you know,
The
I was
squonk.
back looking through. I was out back looking through the garbage. I did happen to see the ain't deer cross.
The
I'm
ain't
gonna call it this year now.
You're gonna totally write this in one now, aren't you? So
The
Oh,
ain't
yeah.
deer. I may have to
Kidding
do
me?
something with that too.
The ain't deer. It's gonna be the not deer confronting the ain't deer, and they're gonna have a fight. So
Go back from where you came from, not deer. You ain't welcome here.
damn, Yankee deer.
We ain't like no not deer here.
We don't like your kind around here, not deer. This ain't deer territory.
that's right. Well, it's funny because I have like a war between the dog.
Can it stand on its hind legs and it has like an AR-15 strapped to its back
Oh,
too?
It can now.
maybe. The ain't deer. I'm picturing the ain't deer more like somebody that works at like a gas station.
Yeah. With a baseball cap.
Has kids by 3 different other deer. Where's Airwalks it from originally from the from back in the day? The ain't deer. Listens to Slim Shady, but never the new stuff. Greg Uncles. 94 S10.
He's crying.
Ain't deer drives a Ford Ranger.
The satellite dish right beside the trampoline. So.
The ain't deer.
No, and ain't deer doesn't have front porch furniture. It's
just
the
living room
back seat
furniture?
of a no, it's the back seat out of a truck, just sitting on the front porch.
A van bench seat.
There's like a
Yep.
there's like a toilet in the front with the flowers coming out of it.
His old lady Wendigo.
Yeah. I pictured curlers in the hair of the Wendigo. So thanks for that. A robe, wearing the robe, and a curlers in the hair, and the antlers have curlers in it. Yeah.
Holy
right.
Jesus,
Mhm.
I'm killing myself here.
No,
Oh,
and I
God.
just she's putting out her cigarette on the
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Get in the house. Yep. I'm gonna have this as like a side comic where it's just the,
The
this
white
family
trash
they follow
cryptids.
around. The white, yeah. I'm gonna have this all. This
Who
story.
here remembers my story of Burl Eyeshine Johnson?
Well, oh my God, I was just about to say this would be perfect for Earl.
Burl Eyeshine Jackson. Eyeshine. Stealing catalytic
Say-
converters.
Where's the light bulb, Bobby?
Thinking that was a yard
Oh,
sale.
where's my light bulb? All I got's fluorescent thanks to that danged Al Gore.
Oh gosh.
Very sophisticated
Why am I laughing?
communication right here. This is like a
Should
mad
have
magazine.
occurred somewhere I really wasn't anticipating.
No, this is not how I saw the conversation going. This is,
So, Corissa, how is your comic book writing going? What kind of font do you use? That was behind the actor's studio.
Carissa.
You didn't even
You're
come
gonna
up
hear
with
that in your sleep
Trailer
now.
Park Boys Cryptids.
God.
I'm gonna hear her voice in my sleep. I'm telling you.
Carissa.
I'm gonna wake up being like, "What did I forget?
Carissa.
You yelled at me. Did I shut off all the lights and stove off?"
She can't whistle because she got COPD. So she has to holler.
Carissa. Carissa.
I should record that for my ringtone.
Carissa. Dear.
Meth Head Chronicles Edition 1. So
Yeah.
Greg,
That was
Hold
one of
on,
the
just let me
things
get the
I
vape
saw.
really good into the mic so you can hear the Carissa.
That's the person that falls asleep and drops the cigarette on themselves. The first thing I saw when I moved to Tennessee was somebody running from meth. Ain't deer, I missed it. But like we saw cops chasing down somebody in tackle and was like, "Oh wait, welcome to Tennessee." I knew I wasn't
Experience
Tennessee
moving
when I was
to-
Tuesday
little.
here.
No.
That's just Tuesday.
We've seen it twice already, but that's not that bad in 10 years. I thought I would have seen it all.
Greg
more.
is loving these jokes. The ain't
Deer.
deer.
I'm gonna get a shirt saying the not deer ain't deer. So they're gonna battle it out.
The
in
not
the
deer
boxing
ain't
ring.
here.
Yeah.
The ain't deer screams, "I thought this was America. I thought this was America." When it's getting arrested.
I know my rights.
With its in its tidy whities with its pants around its
Sorry, I
ankles.
thought this was America.
Oh,
They're turking her gerbs.
Oh my god. My nose is running.
I'm picturing
I did not know that
the
this show
Skull
was so-
Kansas or Ninja Stars. What was that guy?
Oh, they have backer can.
Yeah.
Judy Star. Judy Chop.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the Boone County.
The Boone
Got
County
your
mating
chop,
call.
You got your ninja chop, your Judy chop, and you got your chop.
Backer can. See us here, backer can? No, says I. Ninja Star.
Everyone has a ninja star.
Well, Carissa,
love
we
it.
have kept you way longer than we intended to. And
I do that a
apologize
lot.
for
I am a rambler. So
Well,
yeah.
no, we like it. We like
Oh,
it.
okay.
This has been a great session.
My chest is
Thank
sore.
you.
Great ideas flowing.
and you know
I have a
what?
heart
We have a show on Saturday nights called The Misfits
Yeah.
that you might just fit perfectly in on. So you might want to drop
I'd
in
be
on-
insulted if that wasn't super accurate. Yeah.
Well, pretty
Sure.
much everybody on screen is a misfit.
Yeah.
So-
I'm in a group called East Tennessee Misfits, so it fits very well. Actually, I think it's Weirdos and Misfits, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm in that group. So yeah, I'm in that group.
Anytime,
so-
man. Somebody said to me once that they don't do podcasts because they got yelled at that they don't talk enough, and I was like, I've never been told that in my entire existence, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Mark that off the
So-
concern list.
Yeah, that's never been a problem. But yeah, anytime, man. I love it. I love talking about nothing. My best.
We will have nothing to talk about on Sunday. Not one thing. We'll have
Yeah.
no topics.
Yeah, I have a show on
No,
Mondays.
you're gonna
I
have
call-
you're gonna
what?
have until then to think up more of these great ideas, and then you
I don't know.
can
Oh, I
decide.
don't
on
think
Ain't
some.
Deer is my good one for the year. That's
Yeah. It's funny because
That's it.
I do a not show on Mondays at 8, and I call it a not show because I refuse to think ahead of time. I'm like, I don't care what the show's about. I'm not going to think ahead. I don't want to book anyone. You just show up and you come on. Which, by the way, you're always welcome to. And I went on somebody else's show that was so organized. They had questions ahead of time. I was like, what a waste of life. Like, what are you doing with yourself? Like, what is this? But yeah, so I don't ever
If we
think
can't
ahead.
rant, then
I
Yeah.
like
Well,
to
I
be a
don't think
little
it's like-
prepared, but
I jumped into comic books. I said, how hard can it be? And the next day I hired, a whole crew. And then yesterday I thought of doing the cryptids of the month. And today I freaking did I have 4 people that I already signed up. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. What did I do?
You signed up, make a newsletter. No.
Yeah, like they're like I technically have 3 months of merchandise. I have the Wendigo, the Bigfoot, and the Yeti, and I have everything for those. So yeah, I could sign people up. We'll do it next month. And they're like, all right. And I was like, all right. I haven't really thought about anything, but sure, why not?
The
So,
good
yeah.
news is you'll come up with it because you're ADHD with the pressure looming, and it's going to be amazing. So I wouldn't even worry about it if I were you. Till like 2 days.
Yeah,
before.
I went to bed.
It's going to be a balls
yesterday.
out.
I went to bed last night at 11, and I woke up at 2 a.m. And all I thought about all night long is what I was going to add to these things. And then I was like, I never went back to sleep. I was like, well, time to get up. It's 6 o'clock. So yeah, everyone's like, when do you sleep? I was like, I get about 3 to 4 hours a night. So, but it's working for me. My husband gets like 10 and he's exhausted. So I figure I'm doing something right. But anyway, I'm Southern and Italian. So our goodbyes last like 3 hours. So we can wind it.
I'm okay with that. So you do need to tell everybody before you get out of here where they can find your stuff so that you can sell your stuff.
Yeah, that'd be useful. So all you can do is search Worthy Chaos. You can Google it. You can search it on Facebook. You can search it on the best place is Kickstarter. I always have something either live or in pre-launch or both. Right now I have both. So search Worthy Chaos with the only thing that pops up. As you can see, I'm very chaotic, so you won't forget that. So Worthy Chaos, and you can also find me on Facebook, Corissa Grant. I am the one that would get kidnapped. I talk to anyone at any time, so you can come on there, send me a message. You're probably a scammer, so after you say 3 words, and I don't think you are, I'll start talking more. But yeah, so find me, just search Worthy Chaos. So I'm anywhere there chaos is, and there you go. And Bigfoot.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure that Cheyenne will probably stalk you, and we will invite you to a Saturday show. Okay. We will get you on a Saturday show.
Into the what is it? The People's Lane or whatever. You can get one of these and put them in your passenger window.
HOV.
Yeah, the 2-person lane. But
I would love seeing that on the ticket cam. You know, if you don't have more than.
You'd have to put sunglasses on it just to make.
I was like, don't discriminate against him because he's a plushie. You can't do that. I mean,
he identifies as a human.
He identifies as a passenger and alive. So
that's right.
What are you gonna do? But yeah, let me know about Saturdays and well, yeah, I won't remember, but you can still message. I'll talk. Like I've had people that I don't know their name, and by the time like a year goes by, I'm like, it's too late to ask their name now.
Yep.
So
Stick with it. Wait till somebody else addresses them.
Well, yeah. You know, the odd thing is I messaged you and said Bobby sent me, and you were like, who? It's all making sense now. So
yeah. At least I'm easy to figure it out sometimes. And then I'll just do the opposite of what you already figured out. Yeah. So
we know our own kind, so it's okay.
It's always good to find others that can understand you. But thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I thought you might be too sophisticated for me when I was watching you, and I was like, I don't know if I can be on this show. I mean, they're all polite and quiet, and I was actually pretty nervous. I was like, I didn't know it was going to be this kind of show. And then right away I was like, oh, never mind, they're my people. So
yes. And if you come out a Saturday night, you'll really be like, oh yeah, these are my people. So do you know Aaron from Knoxville by any chance in the East Tennessee Misfits and Weirdos?
Probably.
No.
Okay. Well, she's one of the admins.
She's
one of the admins, but at any rate, because she's the one. That's where I found Aaron too. So I found Aaron and Corissa. So there, I love it.
Yeah.
So we will have you on the Misfits. So
I probably have been I hung out with them for 3 weeks and I'll never know who they are. So yeah, I could know them. I mean, I wanted to go to lunch the other day at the tea house, and I was like, I think I met you once. You want to go? And they're like, okay. And then we went to tea. So yeah. I don't know. If it wasn't for Facebook, I wouldn't know people's names or birthdays. So
Oh, well, I'm guilty of that. So, all right, Chris, have a great night, and we will see you soon.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Corissa.
Jesus.
Corissa.
Oh,
What just
gosh.
happened?
That was a great show.
Magic, Bobby. Magic.
Ain't dear.
That
That's the
was a
best
great
podcast
show.
episode I've been involved with in 6 months.
Oh gosh, that was great.
Because you haven't been on mine. So, Amanda, you all right up there?
I'm good. I'm good. I was trying to control my laughter so I didn't snort out loud.
Oh my god, I would have loved that.
I was just trying to hold it back. Yeah.
That was a great way to start off 2025. We hadn't had a
Yeah.
show like this in a while, and I'm
Yeah.
not so worried about the constraints of FM anymore. So
Yeah.
I may be. I don't know. I have tomorrow till Thursday. I have till Thursday at
What?
5 o'clock to determine if I'm gonna be constrained by FM anymore. So for this show, so yeah, I don't think I fucking am. So
Oh, the southern reindeer that ain't deer. All right, Greg, I
ain't
see
deer.
you.
Chris, no.
Chris, you still need to email me.
why are you stalking all the fans, Cheyenne?
You told me to.
I don't know what you're talking about. So,
Fucking liar.
Oh, man.
next week we need a 9 o'clock guest, so I'll have to work on that. We have a 10 o'clock guest, a best-selling, award-winning author that is, what did they write? I don't know. Something about a Mexican beach and an ice-cold Corona. I don't know. I have to get seducing her husband. What? Okay,
What in
yeah.
the
So
world?
who knows what kind of show that's going to be? So,
Okay, so
see-
seducing her
Yeah.
husband on a beach in Mexico with an ice cold Corona. All right.
yeah, but I think it's a guy. I think it's, well, I don't know. I don't know.
I can see if the Joe Turry, the guy I'm having on tomorrow night, will come on.
Yeah, I need to, because I don't have 9 o'clock yet. I don't know. I'm asleep behind the wheel. Oh, I know who this is. Yeah, Ann Charles. Okay. Oh, she's the one that writes the horror westerns and cryptid westerns. Okay, I know who she is. So yeah. Chris has said his job is to one day make you snort.
No.
And by the way, y'all were talking about I was distracted. Well, it's because Wendell was sending me all these pictures he had photoshopped of.
Of course he was.
The first one was of Amanda.
Oh
And I
my
was trying
gosh.
So I was trying to figure out.
Of course he was.
I'm gonna have to start saying no photos, no photos.
It's not going to work.
Oh, yeah. It's
No,
not
he
gonna-
just he snuck up on me. He took a picture of me before I even knew who he was. He took a picture and then introduced himself. I was like, "Nice to meet you."
That's what I
Wendell.
said. You've
6
been
feet.
Wendelled.
6 feet.
Yeah.
He's everywhere. It's everywhere I ever go.
I just sent it to the Pong
Oh,
group
that-
chat. So
It's a lovely background.
it is. I'm just trying
It's
to figure
probably
out
the background on his phone now.
Well, he did have us as his cover photo for a while.
Hey,
So
He used the
So-
worst picture of me too because my eyes were closed, and the one he used, like all his other photos, my eyes were open. But no, he chose the one where my eyes were closed. It's like, thanks, Wendell.
and then he did make sure to send one of your husband. It was blurry, out of focus, and you can't really tell.
is he still watching? Are we still live?
Yeah, we're still alive. No, Wendell.
I think he went to bed.
Yeah, he said he went to bed. He may rewind this, but he knows.
Wendell's going back through and making notes.
Right.
He knows. Yep. But yeah, it was a great show. Thank you for coming on, Bobby.
Yeah, I saw the two guests. I'm like, I know those people.
Yeah. Well, you
Well,
need to
no,
make
shoot,
an appearance every now and then.
I'm quote unquote
Shoot, he
off
was-
work a little bit tomorrow.
You're always off.
He was saying I missed the opportunity to go hang out in a dark theater with him, and I'm like, I appreciate it, but I'm good.
Yep. He stood down
he
at the bottom of
beside
the steps.
He tried to sit by Greg, so.
Did he really?
Yes. Yes, it was. We did have some great guests. Tonight we really can thank B Dizzle for this, because he did send me both these guests a while back and they were just able to get to it. So but it was a great way to start off 2025. We're on season 3. I need to count how many episodes. I know we're over 100, so we need to have a special show. So
I looked at my iTunes the other day. I had 193 episodes on there. So when have I done 193? It's like I should have maybe 110. I was close to 120, 100 or 200.
It doesn't seem like it. Yeah, Greg, you are more than welcome. We had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
Everything about the venue was nice. The people were all nice. It was a great time, and even though we got windled, it was a great time. And
it was nice to meet Wendell.
It was. We give him hell, but he's a great fan of the show. So
yeah, Savannah said by. She said it was so weird to see him on screen and he's throwing popcorn at me at the same time. I can't wait to get my DVD and watch it. I want to see it again. That one scene was incredible.
The film was incredible.
With the growling.
Oh, yeah.
And Adam kept screaming, "Here it is, Greg! Here it is! Here it's coming, Greg! Yeah, Greg!"
In his East Tennessee accent. That killed me when he said that.
See if I can tell by the accent.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Such a great film.
I was thinking during the whole thing, it's like, damn, Greg paid him to fly back over for this? And then he's in Tennessee. So.
I kind of wondered that too.
Like, how far did he come for this?
How big of a production value is this? Michael Bay. What in the world, Greg?
No, we do have to tell a story on Amanda. Amanda got into a fight during the movie premiere because Greg had a contest to whomever was the furthest away was going to get a prize box. And the people that were typing in the addresses weren't very good because they told me Atlanta was only like 176 and it's clearly like 500 miles.
That was Greg's son.
Yeah. Sorry, Greg's son. But I don't know. Maybe there's an Atlanta in Alabama. I don't know. But at any rate, so, well, I mean, it could be. But at any rate, Amanda you were what, like 300 miles or something like that?
360 miles. Yeah.
360. So
yeah.
She was 360 miles away and right up to before or to going into the theater, she was the leader of the contest. And then so Greg was about to, he's like, hey, I want to, give this special package away to the person that come the furthest away. And then I'm sorry, Greg. So I'm really sorry. But Greg was about to give the package away. And at the time I think suspected it was Amanda. And then somebody's like, well, I'm 300 and what was it? It was 13 miles.
73 miles. They are right down the road in Richmond, Kentucky.
And she knew him.
Like, you've got to be kidding me.
Oh, Amanda was hot. She's sitting right beside me, and I was expecting some nails in my arm. I was like, oh, God.
My son goes to college in Richmond, and I'm going to track these people down.
I said, you got Al Kentucky.
I'm going to walk up there, and I'm going to take my prize box back.
Yes. What was the prize, Greg? What was I going to win?
That's
what I want to know. What was it?
You don't want to know. It was probably like a gold CD with all the autograph from the cast. Maybe a little trophy. You don't want to know. It'll just upset you more. So.
It was a full bust of Martin
No, we want to know.
It was the Bigfoot trap that he got while he was in the woods in Michigan.
right?
Come on, Greg. What was it? What was the prize?
I saw him open it, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh my gosh. I didn't get to see what it
Yes.
was.
So you were out Kentucky by 13 miles. That was
Track
hilarious.
them down and take it.
And apparently Martin Groves
Dang,
like, knew him
I
or
should
something.
have come then, because I would have been farther.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yep.
She'd have been okay with that because she'd have known. But 13 miles, that was just.
Oh, that's enough to piss you off. If it was 50, that'd be 50, 60. That would be one thing. But 13 miles, yeah, fuck that.
But we did. We had a good time. He said it was one of those cooler cups. So I don't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was Stanley.
We got the ones at Big Lots that were recalled.
So like you would take camping with you. I'll get me one from Temu.
There you go.
And she'll get it personalized.
Actually, I did. Well, I told you all about that app. It's free gifts, and you get one free gift a month. So I got my cup with my name on it.
Well, there you go.
Oh, a Yeti. Those are expensive.
Oh, and a gift card for $100.
And a gift card
Wait, for
for
where?
$100.
Where
Wait a
to?
minute. She's back in.
And I just had an idea. Of course, Greg may not want to after this. Greg, you want to come on next week at 9:00? Amanda may beat you down, but
No, not Greg. It's not his fault. The asshole drove from farther than me.
I think they knew Martin Groves.
and I was surprised you haven't had Martin on your show.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think he'll do virtual. I think it's hard to get in virtual.
Oh, well, he wants me to come out. He's going to take me to the secret spot in the land between the lakes and wants to record an episode there. He asked me to, and I'm being dead serious. So
Well, I heard him say it. I'm just not going to go to LBL. Record an episode.
I'll go. It's just 3 hours for me.
Yeah, I'll send Amanda, and he would be safe. He would be safer with her than me. So
No, so then I'm gonna go get. I'll go to Amanda. Then me and Amanda will come be the woman posse.
Yeah.
Woman what?
Posse.
Oh, I know what you said.
posse.
Posse
No.
guard.
Ain't dear.
No, posse.
Grouchy.
Not dear. Greg,
Ain't dear.
you can come on next week. It's safe. It's fine.
It is, Greg. I can mute her. So
He probably would too, Greg.
Greg says you're pissy.
Yeah, you're woman pissy.
Oh,
Posse.
pissy, posse. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Not pissy.
I woke up this
We
morning.
about to get pissy.
I woke up this morning with the worst headache I think I've had in like years. I mean, it literally was so, and I still feel it. It's like back here wanting to call my name again, and I
Corissa.
because I was worried that the noise was going to be too much in my headphones because I've struggled all day. So
Oh gosh.
Greg, I'm sorry, but if it comes to me and her, he's not going to protect you.
no, Bobby's jujitsu or whatever it is he claims to know won't.
His
We'll hold
ninja
it.
skills.
his redneck ninja stars. So.
Dingy.
Well, yeah, you're welcome, Greg. If you want to, seriously. I mean, I just thought of that while we were talking. So yeah, if you want to, come on, you can pimp your movie, and hey, maybe we can show a clip from it if you want. So that'd be kind of cool. So, and you could tell Cheyenne about it. So see, there you go. So yeah, Greg, come on, we want you. We need you, Greg.
Come on, Greg.
Bobby, I noticed you brought some new people over tonight. I hope that they liked, commented, shared, and subscribed. So you need to remind them.
Chris
of
was
that.
a little slacking. He only told him once tonight.
Yeah. Well, none of them did, by the way. And I had a weird thing happen to me this morning. Somebody sent me a TikTok, and I just clicked on it, and it didn't take me to the TikTok. it took me to whatever was there at the moment, just whatever come up. And it was Deadpool and he was live. So I just pushed it because I needed something to laugh about. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, what? This isn't the real Deadpool. And so I type in, I was like, this isn't the real Deadpool. And a dude highlights me on the screen and he goes, Sport Cat, Boss Jock, you have your YouTube channel. And he's just like, for 20 seconds, pimps me. He goes, I am the real Deadpool. And I'm like, what? So I'm trying to figure this out now. This is really right. So no, but it was Dadpool, DAD pool.
This is really right.
Daddy Pool. Daddy Pool. All right.
But it was he was cool because then I started asking him. I said, do you believe in Bigfoot? And he's like, or ghosts or something. And he was having a conversation in the chat. He's like, no, I don't believe in ghosts. They're not real. So he said to send him a message. So I sent him an email to see if he'll come on the show, Dadpool. So
like Dad.
Oh, I like Greg's idea. We got Mystery Science Theater 3000 it. Heck
could.
yeah. Can we just be like little, all of us will just be little tiny in the corner?
They like to feed him cheesy movies, the worst that they can find.
Oh, yeah, I don't. Oh, Lord. Y'all are going to take me down a path. At any rate, I'm gonna go take something for this headache. So
my mixer performed out last night.
Did your batteries die?
Not yet. I've got rechargeable ones anyway, but they're fresh. But it's been what, 2 and 3 hours? Jesus.
Yeah, it's actually been for almost 3 hours. We got a good show tonight, so we kept Amanda up past your bedtime.
Sober as a lark.
Yes, I was just looking at the time. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was that late.
Yeah, it went by so quick tonight. So
yeah,
see,
Greg thinks it's a good idea. I think we should do it.
Well, I mean, I have a 10 o'clock guest though, so
not anymore. Bye. They can go play Jimmy Buffett some other time.
Well, okay, so Greg, I play it like this. We still have Greg on, but then we do a separate show just for our Paranormal Science 3000.
I'm okay with that. Yeah, we can do that. We can even invite Bob.
Greg.
So. All right, Bobby, your next show. What do you got coming up?
Well, tomorrow I've got a documentarian named Joe Torre, and Greg may know him, Joe Torre, and he has a documentary called Grand Tower. It's about this. I've watched it, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was about. But he sent it to me again. I'm going to watch it tomorrow, and me and him are going to do like a live review Q&A on it.
Cool.
And it's on Tubi. It's called Grand Tower. I better plug it because I feel bad because it's actually good. He does it. Seth Breedlove's his producer, and he had
You said it was Grand Tower.
Hang on, I got it right on.
Joe Torre,
right,
the baseball manager.
Grand Tower, UFOs and Other High Strangeness. It is.
Researcher Michael Huntington investigates eyewitness UFOs, bizarre creatures, and paranormal activity in Grand Tower, Illinois.
Yeah, Joe. Is it Joe Torre that you saw his son? His website?
Directed by Joseph Torre.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, he's pretty good at it. How he gets such big names to be his like associates in it. He had Ken Gerhard is in it and several other people. Seth Breedlove's his producer.
Cool. Maybe you can find out what all these drones are.
They're non-existent now.
Yes, Brenda, she knows.
Yeah. Actually, I had somebody message me. He's another podcaster, and he said, we're not supposed to talk about the drones. It's like, what? And so I messaged him back. No, what? He says, no, we were warned not to talk about them. It's like, what? Nobody's warned me. I don't get something popular.
I didn't get that email.
Yeah,
I probably ignored it. I ignored everything.
I was not CC'd.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, so I can still talk about the drones. They're still out there. So, in fact, somebody messaged me.
He does have his hat in it, Greg. His hat's fused to his skin.
Somebody messaged me and said they had pictures of ones in Atlanta and wanted to know if I wanted to see them. So I was like, yes, please. So
Yes.
Just a Cadillac with a propeller. Yeah.
it's the Ain't Deer mobile.
Ain't deer. It's an ain't drone.
It's the Ain't Deer drone. Good God. Cheyenne, you going to be on anything else, or you just going back to work?
Well, I'm gonna attempt to work if I can't dig myself out tomorrow. I told Greg one of the troopers owes me a favor, so they better be coming to get me.
There you go.
But I would highly suggest you go check out it won't come out until the 12th, but it'll be our most recent episode of Bracket Bastards. Fucking hysterical. And part 2 is coming out. We're doing this week. So check it out. It's funny as shit. It's all about movie quotes, and if you know how crude I am with things, it is quite the crude episode. So it's fantastic.
I'm worried.
The quotes that won.
Bracket Bastards is fun because it's all subjective.
It is. So are you working Saturday, Cheyenne?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
maybe.
Right.
Well, I'll probably be in the bunks. So I was told to pack a no shit bag. So.
Yeah. You have to.
I'll just go live from my first time staying in the bunks.
Then the government will know where you are. So no, that's no good. So. Everybody remember to check out Yergs. He has morning shows on yergsradio.com, and he also is on WDJY and a place, I don't know the other places in Tampa. He's like all over. He's becoming a big deal. So everybody have a great night. We will see you soon.
Yay.